It's G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 187. It's a cop code for murder. And yeah, I'm going to continue murdering these character concept portraits. So stupid. So, yeah. I just let's get into it. I got your mom's house podcast playing in the background. I'm gonna let that rock, and then some Shang-Chi stuff, and then some Loki stuff. So we'll uh, we'll see where this goes, man. But let's just uh, let's just get to it, man.
Forever. Now I'm just normal. Wow. But that was, yeah, it was a little heavy.
You know that I remember still of something you posted. I don't know if I told you this that made me laugh. No, it was really funny. You posted like a photo, and then I just happened to see in that comment, like one of the comments that was like, "Hey, looks like you need to eat a sandwich," and then you wrote, "Something tells me you can skip a few."
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was, but like, can we show this? I mean, that's, I
You
look
can
like,
airdrop it.
I look like a
I mean,
teacher.
you hit airdrop, and then it's
Mhm.
why I make on there.
I'd love to share it. It's so, I don't even let guys like I like see that photo. You have to like already love me.
The great
to
like
accept
she's
me.
all that. Like you take the glasses off.
But I didn't know I looked
lose
bad.
200
Like I
pounds.
didn't know. But I didn't want boys to like me, so I didn't really care. I guess.
Really?
No, I wasn't. I was scared of boys.
Oh, I see.
So scared.
There he is. There
There
it
she
is.
is.
There he is.
There's Mrs. Thompson
Yeah.
filling in for
How old are you there?
15, 16. Like what?
Yeah, but you're so
I just couldn't stop
sweet.
eating.
Your face looks so
It was
sweet.
so
You were
sad. Yeah, I was sweet. That was before it got really bad. That was pre 9/11. I was like, I really, the 2001, 2002 was when it all came crashing
It's
down.
rough.
But
Cool glasses.
Yeah, you look
Yeah.
sweet.
Thanks.
Logos.
All
You're
right.
a sweet kid.
Thanks,
You're a
guys.
nice girl.
Yeah, I love that picture.
I do love her. I'm like, I'm looking at her. She was very depressed that trip. Just getting into like.
Where were you there?
I was in Paris and I missed my friends so much. I was like gay for my friends. I would just listen to Matchbox 20 and think about how much I loved my girlfriends that I was like away from. I was
That's
pretty,
super gay.
I was
Yeah.
pretty gay. I mean, I think I might be a little gay. I might be a little gay. But
I think you gotta act on it finally.
No, I mean, I will if I want to. Wouldn't be ashamed to. But it just, I haven't been attracted to a woman enough to like do
What
it.
about you?
What?
Put some gay vibes out?
For what? Wait, am I
If
putting
she
you
cheated on you with a woman, would you care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just wondering. Just
Have
wondering.
you ever?
In college, I Frenched a volleyball player. She,
Did you know that?
no, we're still friends. Kelly comes from shows in San Francisco. Oh, sorry.
Alright, let
Anyway,
me
she, no,
adjust
she-
this camera.
She got me. We went drinking in San Francisco one night, and then she was like, "Why don't you come to my dorm room and just listen to music?" And I was like, "Cool." And it was super far. Her dorm room was way up on Lone Mountain. And then she was like, "Do you want to like cuddle or something?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Not my name or girl, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's cuddle." And then she put it on me, and then I was like,
I respect that.
definitely not. I don't think this is right
Yeah,
for me.
you didn't feel it.
I mean, she's totally a lesbian now, and she's happy. She's a good
Yeah.
partner, and we're still friends.
Let's
Like, I still love her, But I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's not for me.
Same, I did the same thing.
You
Volleyball
did?
player.
Yeah. You get to the top of a mountain, you gotta suck it
Yeah, yeah. I blew these 5 guys. They were like pretty cool. Just to see if I like it,
I'm very attracted to Tom now.
Yeah.
I'm very attracted to you. You know that.
That's so great still. Like, like, yeah, of course still, but like, he looks great, but like, after a while, you just go, what was I, do I even see it anymore? Do I see, do you still
No.
like horny pop?
Yes.
Sweet.
Wait, Tom, can I tell them?
Tell.
You took it to pound down this week.
Really? Yes, tell us.
Pound. I mean.
Like, how does it go down with you two?
Shit.
What do you mean?
Shit. Okay, well, first of all, like, I think he's more attractive as time has gone on. Like, he's done the glow up, as the kids say. Look at him. He's in the best shape of his life.
Yeah,
I love
Wearing
his
colors.
wearing colors, those
Yeah.
blue eyes, the beard. I love him. So I have to milk him every 72 hours. That's how the schedule that we're on.
Mhm.
Otherwise, he gets cranky and he starts yelling at everybody.
Do
in
you
the
ever go
house.
milk yourself? Do you ever go, I can't do it right now,
course.
okay. But
Yes.
you just go, hey, listen, I'm just go do it, go off and do it.
Oh yeah, it's easier. It's just easier. You have to do marital law every 72 hours at least to keep the relationship going. So I milked, and we hadn't milked in a while because we've been traveling and moving around. And then I came on Sunday, and then the next day we did. Was it Sunday?
No, it was Monday.
I mean, you put it on me. I was like, who you been practicing with?
Wait, so what?
Because
Why was it
What was
different?
it?
well, he just went for
And you guys have a time of
a
day.
long time at night when the kids are asleep.
Yeah.
Because we have two little.
Did he do a new move of some sort?
Oh, I mean, it was like all
No.
around the world and back, and
It was just enthusiastic.
so enthusiastic.
It was
The
forceful.
duration, it was
Yeah.
forceful.
Let me ask you this, was
There's
there
a number of
did
Yeah.
you feel
positions.
really, really desired?
Number
Did you
of-
feel like very hot and desired?
I'll
I think
tell you
that's the
something.
hottest thing.
Yeah, and because I like my alpha male, you want that guy who's like, for instance, I shave my meow bald just to see what the hubbub is. I'm usually a landing strip, okay? And
How do you
so,
show that restraint of not just being like, oh, I'll just get that part
well, I
off?
like the symmetry of the strip.
Okay.
Like, when I'm naked, it's like a vertical line. It makes you look thinner. That's what I tell myself. So I said to him, I go, babe, what did you like better? When I had it bald or when I had the strip? And he goes, babe, that's like asking me which plate I want to eat off of. They're all delicious.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of man you want when you
Yeah.
get
I
married.
love
Who's
it.
just like, I just want to lap it up and I want to fucking.
So he went down on you the other day.
He does everything.
That's
He
amazing.
does everything. He does everything.
Oh, so you're super horny for her too.
Of course.
When you're eating clean, you want to get a little dirty. You know what I mean, boy?
That's true. That's true. All this chicken makes me want some pussy. You know?
But a hairy pussy like a wet paper plate. Like you don't want that. Like,
Yeah,
there's some
I
things
mean-
you don't want to eat off of.
Well, no, I always kept the
But you always
undercarriage.
the undercarriage, as long as that's clean, that's any
Yeah.
kind of
Me.
But here's the honest to God truth. If she was like, I'm a full bush gal. Like I have to like that. I'd be like, oh, you know,
You
I
guys
don't
see
care.
how they don't care.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
that's the weird
They
thing.
don't
Like
care.
you want them to kind of care and have
You
No,
know, one thing
not that. But
you know
like,
what?
I like him to like me no matter what. Like, I don't care.
You
You
wanna
just have a
know-
baby.
you
I
wanna
don't
know
care. Are you
honest to
breastfeeding?
God,
I don't care.
this is
That's what
true.
you want.
15 years we've been together. Like
I think you
16.
know more.
I've never ever smelled BO on her.
what?
Not
Oh
once.
my God,
You
that's
smell
what
so
I ever
bad,
wanted a
you
man to
keep
say
smelling.
about me.
Me too.
And she'll be like, I smell him, and I'll be like, no, you don't. And I'm not like being nice.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
because it always smells good, even if she smells bad to her.
yeah.
You're probably so in there, it smells good.
But if you do the 72-hour shot clock kind of thing, you got it. I don't envision you putting up a clock in your living room, but doesn't that take away a little bit of the thrill? Like,
Well, it's not like
It's
that. What happens is
hilarious, no.
it'll be like, you know, that was Monday, right? So like today's Wednesday.
Yeah, you guys
Sure.
do.
Time
No,
to
but
pay
she'll,
you off.
what'll
That's
happen
what I'm
is,
saying.
like tomorrow I'll be
That
like, oh
invoice is-
fucking goddamn it, and she'll go, oh, what are we on here? Oh yeah, you know.
I know when this guy used to
Exactly.
come, I can set, sometimes he saves his stock because he's gonna see his girl, and I just know what's going on, and I'm just like, you need to get, I don't want this energy around, I can't like walk out in something that might be skimpy, because it's, even though he doesn't look at me that way, I just will feel like the,
Yeah,
just the
You can feel the
testosterone.
wow. Like
Yeah.
I don't like it. And so I
Yeah, a
go,
lot of
is your
cum in
stock
there,
full?
yeah.
And he'll go, yeah, it's full. And I go, I just
Take
go,
care of
go,
it.
please masturbate or something. I can always tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now,
well, I'm
you're,
every 4 days I come.
Yeah.
Even by myself. Because I'm on Zoloft, so it's hard for me to come, so I gotta hold my stock, and
Yeah.
that's the only way I can
Yeah.
come at all.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That it affects your load quantity?
No, the sensitivity probably. Right?
sensitivity,
Oh, the
yeah, just to get to the point of coming, yeah.
right. You have
Oh,
to,
wow.
yes, that makes
So
sense.
like if I, jerk off a day before, I won't come if I'm having sex.
no matter what it is.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's like you have to choose between being depressed and cum.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
tough, yeah.
I shall let
Jeez.
yeah.
You choose cum?
I choose cum.
Well, I mean, it's gotten to the point where, yeah, I usually go with cum, and then
Yeah.
I have sex for a long time, and I go, look, it's not you, it's
Yeah.
you, and then everything's fine.
There we go.
Yeah. No, but I don't know,
Sometimes I get into the.
I take Viagra, and so I stay hard for way too
Oh, good.
long, too.
Nice. How long does that last? I've never tried.
Really?
No.
Doesn't need it.
But But no, but it's not
powerful
even,
erection.
but I'm just saying, I've never tried it. So is it
Right.
like how,
This is why you sold out the Wilton with that hard
With
cap.
that hard cap.
Yeah, that big.
Do you
Me,
ever-
I can't even
do you ever
do
try
a
to see-
bringer.
you ever try to see how long you can hold, like build up for, how many days?
Oh, I'm
Jeez.
trying to think what's the longest I've ever gone. I mean, a couple weeks tops.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Yeah, something like that, but I'm saying like,
2 weeks?
I mean, it's hard when you're in a relationship.
no, but I'm saying like, it's like, oh, I leave town, it's day 3, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, I can jerk off right now, and I have shows in a couple hours, or I'll save this up when I get home, and I'll be like a ravenous,
Yeah.
fucking wild dog.
It's like
you know?
waiting to eat until
Yeah.
you're more hungry, so you
Yeah.
get the food
Then all of a sudden when I get
better.
home, it's like been 6 days. Like that, you know, and I'm kind of excited.
I'm a pleasure delayer in every way of my life. Like my parents used to always be like, "Why on Christmas do you never want to?" I never wanted to open presents until it was like everyone else had opened presents because I just needed to like earn it. I needed to wait as long as possible. I don't like to eat before other people. It's like I'm like that with coming. Like I have this weird thing that I talked about on Theo's pod, and then people have been writing and being like, "That fucking works," and I want to hear if you'd be into this.
What's up?
I'm into when guys try to make me come from finger whatever, and they tell me do not come. And if you come, you're gonna be in big trouble. I'm gonna be so fucking disappointed in you, you fucking slut. And you want to come so bad, you're not
Oh,
allowed
wow.
to. And then they try to make me come so bad, and you go, don't do it. And then I'm like, to the point where I'm like, please let me, please. And they're like, no. And then they finally, if I've earned it, get to come, and then I get
Wow.
permission.
Wow, that's intense.
Should we try that, babe?
Love it.
Sure.
Let's try it.
Comforting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll try it. Let's try it
It
out.
was the same thing of like, I wanted,
Delayed
because
gratification.
it's gonna feel so much better if I'm like, if I don't do it at first.
I'm like a toddler where I want stuff now. I get impatient and angry.
Yeah.
So if someone, maybe if Tom did that to me, I'd be like, fuck out of here, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like, I like to enjoy it.
and then probably will work on you, but I just
Aggressive.
really like
But that means that you really like the mental aspect. Like
of
that's
just being like,
kind of control.
it's gonna feel better because I've saved up like the way it is. Like I have weird stuff with food where I just want to eat when I'm starving because it's gonna taste so much better. I'm gonna earn it. Like you haven't eaten for so long, so you can really indulge, and it's like
That's
the way
deeply psychological.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
where you don't deserve things unless you work for it.
Wow.
And like I like to work for it, but it's just also turns me on so much for someone to be like, don't fucking do
Don't
that,
come.
you not stupid slut, but
Stupid
you
fucking
greedy slut.
I think I would like to be on the receiving end of that.
See, that's
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we have more in common in terms of like we don't feel the things that we get in terms of like I maybe didn't earn this the right way. I'm a fraud. Like I need to in order to like you want to be able to get things when you deserve them, not
Yeah.
before that, not a little too soon. I was never want someone to be like I should be performing at the Comedy Cellar or whatever before I got asked. I didn't want things. I never felt, even though I probably deserved things, I
Yeah.
never want to be doing something too soon
Yeah.
because I don't
that's
ever
good.
feel deserving. But it's not good.
It's
You
not
should
good to
believe in
think
yourself and go. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, oh, I could kill that. I want that. Give that to me.
Yeah.
And then
But now it's like
It's different,
you're ready
you're-
for it.
you're
Yeah, the
mastering
confidence
I
it.
is
used to be like Nikki, because I would like hook up with comedians that could give me guest spots on their shows when I was an open micer, and they would offer me guest spots and because they liked me, and I'd be like, no, I suck. I'll embarrass I was never an open micer who was like,
Yeah.
I want to get on stage. Will you watch my
No.
set? I was like, I'm
No.
embarrassed at how bad I am.
More-
Same.
I want you to see me and go, whoa, you're good.
Same.
Yeah.
Not, cause you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Ugh,
Yes.
especially with vomit. Do you want me to squeeze your dick head when you're about to come?
Oh, I
Like,
do that.
squeeze it? You do that?
It's a smart, when you pull out, you grab the head of your cock.
No, I bet, you know what I bet
You've
you
never
like,
done that?
Christina?
Yeah, sure.
He's about to
Yeah.
come and you like jump off him and go, no, you're not allowed to.
You got it.
Then you bring the dog into the bed.
Draw it out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
That was very cool guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love these guys. I want to see more. Do you have anything else to show me that you're like, because I really love the stuff you've exposed me to.
Really?
God.
I showed her your
I was
mom's
doing
fart the other
cameos,
day.
and I did an impression of Good Morning Julia for a guy that was entered me on this, and it was so fun. I memorized it, and I did a really. I love the cast of characters you guys.
Oh boy.
Trying to think. Oh, here we go. Did we ever do the King evolution for her? I think we did the King.
Oh my Christ.
Good morning, ladies. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's time to go to work. Get up and let them boobs hang. Come on, make some videos right when you get out of bed before you put that bra on. You have a wonderful day, girl.
So that's how he started. He's in his truck and he wants to see your tits. And
That's very specific.
it's very specific, but I also respect the directness of it. But then things started to change, where he ended up doing POV style stuff.
Good
Oh,
morning.
Oh, man.
Come on, open them eyes up. I got your breakfast ready. Coffee's on. Breakfast is on. Come on. You gotta go to work.
Andrew Joyce is a character.
You're so beautiful.
I feel seen.
I just love my queen above 18.
So then he started
Oh.
to make all these videos, and he always made this specific, like, line that he would say that queens above 18. Make sure that you're above 18.
I respect
And
that.
yeah,
I feel like the doth protest.
I do-
Yeah,
I
we
do
all
like
felt
that.
that,
You
yeah.
said breakfast was ready, but then.
My queen's above 18. I'm over here in Menor delivering a load. It was 4:30 when I woke up and started driving.
Delivered a
That
letter.
was too early to give you beautiful women a call.
Yeah.
So it's time to wake up. It's 8 a.m. on a Friday morning. Everything looking beautiful in Menor, Ohio. And you guys have a wonderful day.
So that's
King
like
is so
his
crazy.
shtick, is like,
Checking
Positive.
on women that may or may not see this. Does he know he has followers, or there's certain people?
there are some followers, and
I'm
then
so happy he has this.
he does.
This is like his.
Yeah.
hobby.
Did you find them? You get the best TikToks
I
ever.
did
She did
find
find,
it.
she
Yeah.
did find him.
And I met him in real life.
Wait, how?
They went on a date.
We went on a date.
Did you film it?
He charmed the pants off me. Let me tell you.
They fought.
He's really sweet. We act.
How was it?
It was amazing.
That's
The
awesome.
king, he made me a hot breakfast.
How hot?
Super hot. And then he gives virtual massages, Nikki, if you want a virtual massage. He'll take care of you. He'll treat you like the queen
Wait,
you
I
are.
gotta show her the best POV.
Sure.
It's so
Classic.
sweet
Because
that
this
these people
has-
have this and that they're not embarrassed to put
Right.
this out. It's really actually sweet.
It
This
is
guy's
sweet.
lonely.
He is. He's sweet. He's sweet.
And it's
Very
nice
sweet.
that they have this.
Good morning, my queen above 18. Yes, it's time to wake up.
Okay.
Come on.
Good morning.
I'm surprised he can hold
Yes,
himself
you
up.
are my queen. What? How did you sleep?
Oh, it's
I slept good.
So that was like improv, like acting in the moment, and it was honestly it was really good.
I
It's
literally
like you
was like,
thought you
yes.
missed the question.
I really did. I go, are we live with him?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Oh my.
Yes, you are my queen.
Oh, so many young women that have been, trapped in a cellar have the same point of view. This is like what girls
Got great
that are
tits.
missing see every morning.
His tits are amazing.
Those are some cans he should. Yeah, we said don't put them in a bra yet. Take a picture of them. That's he's into himself. Those are some
What?
sleepy tits.
Yeah.
Oh, just hovering over you.
Oh yeah, we have. Oh, I could show you another guy. We have a.
I love this guy.
No, he's great. He's actually very sweet.
I forgot from today's episode.
He's a truck driver.
We have.
Yeah.
He drives around a lot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like he's cool.
He seems happy.
He's cool. Yeah, he's
Great
He's not gonna be with us much longer.
Did we
though,
ever
let's be
show
honest with
you?
ourselves.
Did we ever show you Poker Tape? I forget.
I don't. That's
Oh, that's a good one.
Women.
No.
Women. should clean up. Not only should women clean up, women should clean up unprompted. I'm going to tell you why. It's very, very simple. We live in a world where things need to be fair, 50-50, gender equality, blah, blah. So I pay for things unprompted. You don't have to ask me to pay for shit. You go to dinner, I'll get my whole out, pay at the end. But you check the price of the bill, my card always works.
Is that Goggins' son?
Oh, right. It does look like him.
So there's. I mean, I'm just giving you like.
Hold on. This guy is.
I honestly
he's
would rather
so
get
angry.
fucked by the 8 last guy than this
He
guy.
scares me.
If I had to.
Really?
Well, why?
Yeah.
Why?
This guy is
Explain
just,
it.
He's so
this
mad.
energy, this
I'm
like
so-
confidence is just,
It's through the roof, right?
he just,
He's more insecure than anyone I've ever seen. I don't say.
The only water I drink is sparkling water. The sparkling water is for rich people.
Is this a joke?
Get non-carbonated water.
It's for
It's still water from the fucking tap. The government gives you that shit effectively for free. Sparkling water you have to buy.
Does this person
You
have
only
friends?
drink sparkling water. You
A
only
lot of friends.
explain this to someone.
How many subscribers does he have?
Of course, no.
I'm not sure.
People think he's funny, like this is funny.
Some people
Yeah, I
do.
would
Yeah.
definitely watch these.
If it's a character, I get it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's a character.
Here's the latest way. This one's pretty specific.
Feels
and
like
I'll give you-
incel. Like,
I make her make me 2 coffees every morning. She'd make me 2 coffees, and one I would drink, and the other I wouldn't even drink. I just leave it to the coffee. And she said, "Why do you make me 2 coffees? The second one's just like an insult because you never drink it. You just make me make it because you want me to bring it to you. You're not going to drink it." And I said, "If someone broke into this house at night, I will die trying to protect them. That's my job.
No, he
I will
won't.
literally
That's what I
risk my life. You're walking down the street
No.
and a guy goes to grab your ass. It's on.
That's
I
what
will
I
risk
was
my life
saying.
against Mike Tyson, whoever he may be. He might have
He's
strapped,
wearing
he might have anything.
a
I will
blouse.
risk my life to
Yeah.
protect
That's why you bought that shirt, Tom.
you. You're fucking making coffee.
what is that
Does it matter
tattoo?
if I drink it?
Man, but this guy would tell you not to come.
Don't do that.
This guy would go to you, hey, I don't want you to come.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good at it.
He would be good at it.
He would be great
He
at
would be
it.
good at it.
Yeah, okay, I'm into it. I want that energy in the bedroom. That's what I want in the bedroom. Honestly, I want someone to be like that, like.
You want a one coffee
Not all
in
the
the
time.
street.
Here's the thing.
Two
That
coffees
I
and
think that this guy would definitely deliver for what you're saying in the
Yeah.
bedroom, but everywhere else you would be like,
Terrible. I want
Yeah.
it to be a character in the bedroom like this,
Yeah.
but and then not all the time. Just like in certain really like corny.
But Nikki, I had the same reaction you did,
Hmm.
which is I don't buy that he would necessarily defend me to the death. Like I don't get that loyalty, chivalrous vibe. The vibe of make me 2 coffees, one I'm not gonna drink, is a punishing sort. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a chivalrous vibe.
It's disrespectful. It's like it's not protective of her.
Yeah.
It's just too.
Would you die for your lover? Would you take a bullet?
I would for my children.
I probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never.
In the leg?
I take one bullet for Tom.
Hmm.
I would take a bullet for Tom in like an appendage, yeah, but not
I would only do it for my niece and nephew. Thinking about it, or my
Oh, I
sister
see.
because I don't want to take care of my niece and nephew. So I'd rather literally die than get stuck.
Would you take a bullet for me in the
It's
leg?
not even worth.
in the leg. I mean, it would just depend on which leg. I'm already rehabbing this leg a lot.
I know.
I don't want to get
How
shot.
about in the other one?
In the
You
other leg?
haven't had an injury
I
yet.
guess. I mean, it's different though, like than what I would do for
Does
my
it?
kids.
I just think that-
Babe, but for the
yeah.
kids,
For the
you
kids, I
die.
would just be like, put the gun in my mouth.
Yeah,
Right.
easy.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
But for like you, I'd be like, you can take this thing. You know?
But here's the
Just
pinky.
the top.
that would hurt really
That would
bad.
hurt.
Wait, but I have to raise the children, so
Right. So
think
cut
about
this
it.
pinky off and please let her live. You know.
A
Yeah.
pinky? That's not suffering enough. I would take a bullet.
I'd take a bullet in the buttocks. How's that?
That's pretty
Ow, That's
painful.
very
Yeah.
painful.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take
Or
that.
for
I would take a noogie for Nikki.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we live together, and you do leave you leave things open sometimes. Where I'm like, if someone got in, you're leaving us vulnerable. I do think you would defend me if we got into something because you're stronger than me, you're a man. But like, do you guys worry about that? Like, I'm going to have to maybe because I'm a man, I'll have to potentially die more. Like, is there a part of you that wants a second coffee just to rub in our face?
No, I don't want to
Just
say
kidding.
fans. No, I don't think, but I sometimes do think about like safety and security.
You would be the first if someone broke into your house
Sure.
to have to go out and check on it.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's
You have a
a
gun
lot
in the house?
scary.
In Texas.
Mhm.
Better believe it.
More than one.
Yeah.
Better fucking believe.
I just locked my bedroom door. I think that's gonna.
That'll keep them away too.
Yeah.
If they're like, I wanted to get in here, but you locked the door. Fuck.
Yeah.
With that tough lock.
Yes. But Andrew, when he enters our apartment, because I can't see the front door from it, he has to say, not a rapist, because sometimes he'd have his
Yeah.
headphones on, and I go, Andrew? And he wouldn't hear me, and I go,
Yeah.
I'm about to be raped, because it's someone not answering to Andrew. And I go, oh my God, and you really have that feeling like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Now you enter.
now
not
he goes,
racist.
not a rapist.
I say I am a rapist, it's funnier to me. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to be honest.
Yeah.
But those are past.
It was sport time.
Yeah, I don't want to live with a
War
liar.
doesn't make you.
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sport time's a charm. That's what they say.
I think this was super fun.
Oh, so
Um,
good to
love
see you
being on
guys.
I love seeing you guys. For a reminder to everybody who's been watching and listening, the Nikki Glazer podcast is available Monday through Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. Are you video streaming it too? Is it-
We're gonna start, but it's just like it was my answer to not having to do stand-up every night, just a way to express myself and not have.
Podcasting's the best.
It's the fucking best, and we don't really have guests or anything. We just, if I want, I will, but it's just me and Andrew waking up in the morning in our apartment, talking about the news of the day. It's kind of like a morning radio show type thing, and you can jump in whenever. You don't have to listen to past episodes. We'll catch you up on unsaid jokes. If you like this show, I really think you'll like it. So I hope people would subscribe and throw it up. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. But like,
We're
give it
kind
a
of
try.
bizarro, you guys. You know.
Truly.
That's so funny. Yeah, I never think about
And you
that.
guys went to high school together.
We
You guys
did.
like
Pretty
that's
crazy.
wild.
You posted that picture the other day.
Oh, in
on the
story.
field. Yeah,
That was great. Tom Corson.
that's great.
We
Yeah.
got a picture of both of them. He's number 69.
Yeah.
More famous than me. That wasn't funny then.
That's cool. You got 6'9", did you ask them?
It's for the fattest player on the team. Yeah. The year before, what was that fat fuck? Lucian?
Was Lucian
Yeah,
69?
yeah. They were like, well, you're fat. Let's take his number. No, but it's great to see you guys. I
You
love
too,
you guys.
guys. Thanks for having
Love you
us.
guys.
Closing song, Kings and Queens Above 18 at gmail.com by Matthew Douglas. Here we go.
My queen, you can see the king. 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 The K is backwards.
So someone wanted to order one of your shirts. How do they do that?
Doubles on the week.
What you do is you go to kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com. 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 Say you want a good morning shirt with a smiley face. You put white V-neck. Women. Say you want a men's shirt, protect the queen. Say you want a women's, put your feet on the ground and take off running. I got a V-neck, and I got a regular shirt. kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com. 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 kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com.
And how do I pay you?
You go to my Venmo.
Okay. So I have to get Venmo. I look at my bank account and I find you and
Which is Stephen Summerfield. Takes 15 to 21 days to get the item.
what?
I can't control the mail. kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com. 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 The queen is from the inside. You is from the inside. What you do is you go to kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com. 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 kingsandqueensabove18@gmail.com.
Hi, thank you for watching that episode of Your Mom's House. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more, you can click on any of these videos in this general area. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps feed our cats. Don't have any cats.
I'm Eric Voss, and the latest trailer for Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings revealed fighting in this MCU tournament are freaking Abomination from The Incredible Hulk, and we think Wong from Doctor Strange answering his own question.
Like you wanted more.
And you actually do get more with a dragon. I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by frame for all the details that you might have missed, why Abomination looks different now, and why our single-name Sorcerer Slayer is in the ring. Let's go.
Throughout my life, the Ten Rings gave our family power. If you want them to be yours one day, you have to show me you're strong enough to carry them.
We open up the voice and arm of Wenwu, aka Marvel villain the Mandarin, head of the Ten Rings. And this is the real Mandarin, not either of those ponies in Iron Man 3, because we know from the short All Hail the King that there is a real Mandarin, and he's really pissed off that people keep using his name. Now, the Ten Rings in the comics are mystical alien technology with cluing tech, each with a different power, stolen by the Mandarin from alien wreckage, and really belonging to the alien dragon Fin Fang Boom. But here in the movie, they have been reconceived as wrist bracelets, which is really a clever move by Marvel that avoids comparison to the Infinity Stones and evokes the iron strength bracelets of Chinese martial arts like Hung Gar. Now, I have theorized that the rings could be larger to fit giant dragon fingers, but footage in this trailer confirms that the rings actually change size to fit the wielder's arm anyway, similar to the ring in Lord of the Rings. A black flag shows us the Ten Rings logo updated from its past MCU sightings, with these crossed weapons being the hook swords or tiger swords. So maybe each regional chapter of the Ten Rings has regionally appropriate melee weapons. Within each of these rings are Chinese characters. This is ancient calligraphy known as seal script. The top is Quan, meaning power or authority, which is actually part of the name of the emperors during the Three Kingdoms period. Clockwise to the right is Li, meaning physical strength or power. The third ring is Zhuang. So sorry about my pronunciations on all this. It means strong or robust. Actually, a lot of these translate to some version of strength or power, kind of like the Ten Rings of Flex. The fourth ring is Wei, meaning extraordinary, magnificent, or great. The fifth is Jie, meaning hero, heroic, or outstanding person. The sixth at the bottom is Shi, which means power or influence, also associated with the male genitals. And continuing clockwise to the left, the seventh is Hong, meaning large, extensive, great in a literal sense. The eighth is Xiong, meaning powerful or grand, also refers to things that are male. The ninth is Qiang, meaning strong or powerful. And the 10th is Wei, meaning pomp or power. And we see the rings in action from Wenwu on horseback, magically suspended off his arms, wielded kind of like maces or slingshots that zip around and physically hit stuff, which give these a much more tangible lethality to them. Let's move on.
Quality insurance with affordable rates. And it turns out this isn't a sleeping bag.
Of all who came before you, the legacy of your family, you are your mother, whether you like it or not.
And here we see this rocky island, and if you look closely, this red textured portal is upon the other shot by Jian Nan, Xiaoling, Shang-Chi, and Katie. Now, Shang-Chi later duels his father for the rings in front of this portal, and it's interesting how its red texture matches Shang-Chi's red wardrobe, as if this portal could lead to a mystical realm where Shang-Chi acquires his new attire. And we see Shang-Chi's feet land before this gate as if he leapt across the water to land there. The cinematographer of this movie is Bill Pope, known for his camera work on The Matrix, and Shang-Chi sticking a landing here does kind of look like Morpheus's epic landing in that jump program. Jiang Nan talks about Shang-Chi's family, including his mother, Jiang Li. We see his mother training him as a boy in this shrine before this wooden engraving. Actually, later, this same location has a candlelit shrine to, I think, the same woman, so Jiang Li might have died when Shang-Chi was still a young boy, leaving it to his abusive father to raise him instead. Notice how the flashbacks to his training under his father are all tinted in blue, whereas those with his mother are tinted in gold, reflecting the color scheme of the dueling magic between Wenwu and Shang-Chi when they fight. In a shot at the Ten Rings courtyard, you can see the logo on the floor and on the banners, showing warriors training with the hook swords, while in the background you can see Wenwu sitting on his throne. That's from the other shot that we saw him in the previous trailer. But then to Wenwu's right is another, hard to make out the person's face, so I wonder if this could be Death Dealer, Li Xinglin, before he put on his mask. Next clip.
You are also your father.
Here Shang-Chi spars and then straight up fights with Death Dealer, who in the comics is a torturer working for Fu Manchu, Shang-Chi's father. The editing here syncs Death Dealer's strike with young Shang-Chi, blocking it further out, but then older Shang-Chi lets it get closer to his eye, meaning here Death Dealer is no longer holding back as they fight on this high-rise. Moving on.
I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill me if they tried.
Here, the cage fighting bar that we keep coming back to gets swarmed by Ten Rings warriors. Notice how their hook swords are all glowing blue, the same color of the radiated energy from the Ten Rings when Wen-Wu used them. As Death Dealer throws the explosive dagger into the window, notice blown back from that explosion outside of the scaffolding is both Shang-Chi and Xialing, meaning Xialing is not firmly on the side of the Mandarin and the Death Dealer, but might rather be another estranged exile child like Shang-Chi. Next clip.
Glad I'm the strength. You're just a criminal. Where's people? Be careful how you speak in the blood.
So here, young Shang-Chi witnesses his father murder someone in this club. You can see in the mirror, Wen-Wu used the rings to grab that guy either by the neck or the shoulders and then hurl it into the glass wall, and then right in front of his boy, aims those rings down the guy's head to plug him. Yikes. Moving on.
Plug him? Really? To plug him?
So Jiangnan shows some of her powers. It looks like she's an airbender within this dome. And notice at the base of it is a wavy serpentine body, most likely representing the dragon that Shang-Chi later encounters. Actually, that sea dragon also can be seen on that shrine wall engraving as it leaks water, perhaps suggesting a link between this dragon and Shang-Chi's maternal ancestry. As Razor Fist attacks Shang-Chi on the bus, right behind him recording it all is once again comedian Zach Cherry, who played the do-a-flip guy in Spider-Man Homecoming, and in a bit with Stephen Colbert campaigned to get a spin-off Marvel film of his own. But before we continue, thanks to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this video. I like to drink wine, but I'm really not an expert. Frankly, I'm always a little unsure whenever I have to say the words like this. I enjoyed the last one. I'm gonna love these. I might not become a sommelier, but I don't need a sommelier to tell me what good wine I'm gonna like. Bright Cellars helps me teach myself. And Bright Cellars is giving our followers 60% off their first 4-bottle box.
Whoa, is he
such a great
still-
deal. So follow the link and take the quiz and get started. Moving on.
Let's give it a shout out. My son, you can't run from your past.
So Wen-Wu fights either Jiangnan or Zhang Li, who dodges the rings as they whiz past her. A bit more Bill Pope's Matrix camera work, evoking Neo dodging the bullets. And then this interesting looking battle in this mystical setting, where modern Ten Ring soldiers fight warriors in red as a huge ass Budog swipes one. Now these mythological beasts are often seen guarding Buddhist temples. Two actually appear at the courtyard gate in the Ten Rings compound as they all bow to them. Notice how the red warriors' shields and staffs glow with this golden energy, contrasting the blue Wen-Wu linked glow of the Ten Rings warriors. And I am wondering if these ancient warriors could be the true heirs, the rightful possessors of the Ten Rings. These are the people that Wen-Wu could have stolen the rings from. Maybe even a group Shang-Chi's mother could have come from. And now their realm gateway is confined to this forbidden island, an island guarded by the dragon. And throughout this movie, we'll see Shang-Chi reconnecting with those roots in order to get his power, which is why in the standoff with his father, he now wears that same color as these other warriors and wields golden magic against his father's blue magic. Shang-Chi and Xialing fight in this bar, and while breaking out the previous trailer, I pointed out that that star in the left of the background was not Cap's shield, but actually looks more like the crescent moon in the star of the Madripoor flag. Madripoor being the southeastern Asian country that we saw in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. More on why that could be important in a bit, but let's move on.
Is that what you wanted?
Here be dragons! So according to Sina Lu, Fin Fang Foom in Marvel Comics is not going to be in this movie, but a toilet did describe this dragon as the Great Protector, which might be why Shang-Chi doesn't seem too afraid of it. But what is it protecting? Well, as I mentioned, that shrine linked the dragon with water, and its form outlined a garden dome. I'm wondering if this dragon is actually protecting that immortal realm, and that is the place that Wen-Wu wants to access, but he has been banished and forbidden. He's been on their shit list for stealing their 10 rings, but there's some deeper, greater magic that he wants to have, perhaps immortality. That could be why he's hosting this tournament, something he might try to rig with his own offspring to grant him access to this realm.
Is that what you wanted?
But But what he doesn't account for is that the apple has fallen fall from the tree, and that Shang-Chi will have a friendlier connection with this realm and its dragon protector. Maybe even this dragon could have a connection with his mother's soul. And we see Wenwu and Shang-Chi in this tug of war right in front of this portal. And notice how where their energy tethers meet, one ring glows golden on Wenwu's side, while another glows blue on Shang-Chi's side, kind of like they're reaching past each other to try to pull the other in. And then look in the upper right corner, there's some winged creature flapping around, maybe a little dragon. And we saw this same creature back in the other trailer flying around in that mystical realm. So yeah, I am thinking this is a gateway to there. And then on to the final clip.
You got this.
Thank you. Yes, so apparently one bracket matchup in this movie's fighting tournament is going to be Abomination versus Wong. Now we know it's Abomination because the YouTube captions say Abomination roars. And we're pretty sure it's Wong because Benedict Wong and Simu Liu were spotted together during production for this movie. And yeah, this looks very much like Wong, or at least a stunt double who looks just like him. So recap on Abomination, Neil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, last seen in The Incredible Hulk 2008 when Hulk defeated him in Harlem. In the years since, Marvel head Kevin Feige has hinted that Abomination was locked in a prison somewhere, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they said that he was locked up in Alaska. And then last December, Kevin Feige confirmed that Abomination would return on the Marvel Disney Plus series She-Hulk. So notice how Abomination now has greener skin, he's got these face fins, he wears stretchy pants. This is closer to his comic appearance than the design in the 2008 film. If this fighting club is Madripoor, we know from Falcon and Winter Soldier that that was a place where the Power Broker was funding Super Soldier Serum research, and Blonsky was initially powered with Super Soldier Serum before he took Banner's blood to become Abomination. So maybe this guy continued to receive dosages of different serum cocktails that changed his appearance into this. Maybe Thunderbolt Ross, eager to get a chance at the 10 rings, offers Blonsky a chance to fight for his freedom as the US government's champion in this tournament. And then when he inevitably fails, maybe his case will get taken up by attorney Jennifer Walters, who defends government test subjects while reining in her clients whenever necessary. But there's also a chance that this could tie in with the Thunderbolts, with Val from Falcon and Winter Soldier assembling a team of anti-heroes including John Walker, and rumor has it, someone from Black Widow. Abomination could be that team's muscle. Now, Wong would have a chance in this fight because we saw him use a sling ring portal to sever the hand of Cull Obsidian, who has a strength profile similar to Hulk and therefore similar to Abomination. But maybe this fight doesn't allow weapons apart from one's own body, so maybe no sling rings, but like Razor Fist could argue they're part of his body. I don't know. I theorize that the Masters of the Mystic Arts wanted a champion of their own in this tournament, hoping for a chance to get mystical artifacts out of the wrong hands and back into theirs, because we know they're looking ahead to Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness. They're going to need some bigger guns to face the threat of the Scarlet Witch. Hey, you can support this channel by checking out our new Loki-inspired merch options, like the shirt Loki Out of Time at NewRockstarsMerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EABoss. Follow New Rocks.
With an all-inclusive vacation package at Legoland Florida Resort.
For the show, I'm your host Paul, and why is the Incredible Hulk so good at advertising? Because he's a giant banner. It's a way I tell him. Loki is now past the halfway point of the season, and in this video we're going to be breaking down all our fan theories and predictions on what we think could be happening in the future. We normally never get these right, but there was that one time we guessed there were two visions in one division, and I'm telling you, I'll never let anyone forget that. Now, because of this, there might be some spoilers here, so if you don't want anything potentially ruined, then I recommend that you turn off now. Smash the thumbs up button if you think we're worthy, and don't forget to subscribe for videos like this each and every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our Loki predictions. Okay, so in episode 3, we had the big reveal that the Minutemen at the TVA were actually all variants from the Sacred Timeline that had been brought into the center and repurposed as agents. This makes a lot of sense when we look at the show itself, as if Nexus events were really all that important to prune, then surely Loki would have been stamped out there and then at the start of episode 1. Instead, he was brought into their offices and enlisted into their ranks, which is likely something that has also happened with the other variants. I do, however, feel though that the TVA always goes one step beyond that and wipes the memory of their agents, and the only reason that they didn't do it to the God of Mischief is because they wanted to use his mind in order to catch Sylvie. However, if you think that's all there is to it, then you're like Wanda because you've lost your vision, and I'm like the Fantastic Four reboot, because I've got another thing coming. Yes, the puns are terrible, but keep listening. Now, in the comics, we meet several versions of Mobius and learn that there are duplicates of him that exist in the TVA. I believe that going forward, we will learn there's a copy of him operating at the agency, and seeing this will snap him out of his servitude. Cast your mind back to episode 2, and you will remember that in Renslayer's office there were several ring stains from cups. Renslayer said that he's the person who always leaves them there, which he seemed a bit confused over. We also learned that she had another agent in the field who had picked a pen up for her, and I believe that this is actually the duplicate of Mobius. The fact that she says it's always him who leaves the stains is probably because it's always an alternate version of him, and the show and comics, of course, have this idea of copies laced throughout his character arc. Now, I think that Mobius longs for his jet ski because this is in his subconscious, and potentially it's the last thing that he remembers before he was snatched by the TVA. Potentially, Mobius was meant to die in a crash involving it, but he could have survived, and this would have created a variant. The TVA would have then taken him in, and I would love it if the series ended with him riding off into the sunset, surviving the event that he was meant to die in. Heck, he might have even crashed it several times at several different points, and this would have meant that a lot of Nexus versions of him were created that allowed the TVA to have lots of versions of their best agent. Now, the TVA is too mighty to escape from, even if you have the universe's most powerful paperweights, but I do think that they might come into play. In episode 1, it did seem like Loki snatched the Time Stone, and as we never saw him put it back, it is possible that it is still on him. Episode 3 ends with Loki and Sylvie almost getting crushed by some falling rubble, but Loki manages to stop this midair, potentially using the Time Stone as a weapon. I first saw this theory brought up by Cosmic Wonder, and it does make a lot of sense, as it's not really a power that we've seen him demonstrate before. Now, in episode 2, he did make something levitate towards him during the Lady Loki fight. However, this ability is something that he could have used at several points in the MCU, but didn't, which is a bit weird. Might be absolutely nothing but poor writing, but if he does have the Time Stone, then it could potentially allow him and Sylvie to escape Lamentis 1. The Ark is destroyed, and they are seemingly doomed, but if they can reverse things, then they can survive the cataclysm. And there's also a theory from Tito Caston on Twitter that I think could hold a lot of weight. Potentially, the majority of the episode is actually an illusion, all being played out by Sylvie in order to learn more about Loki. In the latest entry, we open with Lady Loki and Sasha Lane's character C20 in a bar. This is revealed to be faker than my wife's love for the MCU when I'm forcing her to watch another marathon of them for the 5th time this year, and the scene itself was somewhat repeated on a train. In both moments, Sylvie questions C20 and Loki about their life over a table in a bar in order to learn more about them. In the episode, she even tells Loki at one point that she enchants someone by touching their head and reaching into their mind. Earlier in the entry, she does this to Loki, and it seems to fail, but it is possible that it actually works, and she's now got him trapped within an illusion. In the trailer, we can see the pair sitting down at a rock together as Lamentis crumbles around them, and this is possibly her last line of questioning before she pulls everything apart. Though I think this theory is a bit unlikely, when it comes to characters that can create simulations, you can never be too trusting of them, and how many times has Loki tricked us as an audience with one of his illusions? I've lost count, and you should always expect the expected with him, and of course Lady Loki. Now, the show is clearly pulling from Agent of Asgard, and this has been shown not only in the idea of a Loki getting a second chance to prove he's a good guy, but also the aesthetic of an agency and several of the costume designs. Thus, looking at this, we can probably use it as a framework to guess who the real villain is. Now, in the book, we learn that there's actually an old Loki who's manipulating events so that the young and rebooted version of him ends up following in his footsteps. A big shabow comes in the story where we learn that the All-Mother of Asgard never planned on letting Loki redeem himself, and that he was always meant to be a villain. It's a major twist that shows just how little people actually think of Loki, and how he's simply a tool, that's well, a bit of a tool. In the MCU, we watched as he helped to form the Avengers, and it's clear that his evil ways simply allowed for bigger and better people to stand up against him and fill the roles of the heroes that they were always meant to be. This is very much the case in Agent of Asgard, and old Loki reveals that when he learned this, it was absolutely crushing to him. He decided that if they wanted a villain, then he would give them what they wanted and became even more evil than they ever could have suspected. Now in the book, this pushes the younger version of him to take an alternate path, to go on to become something bigger and better. Loki literally becomes his own tool to improve himself, and it's got this great idea of self-fulfillment. Now this could also happen in the show, but we need someone, namely an old Loki, to push him along this path. This is where I think Richard E. Grant will come in, and though it hasn't been confirmed which character that he's playing yet, it just seems like perfect casting to have him play old Loki. I mean, let's look at the guy on paper here. He's an older Englishman with black hair and blue eyes that looks pretty similar to Loki without even applying any makeup. I really hope they bring him in an interesting way, and who knows, he may even be the head of the TVA, controlling it all. In the comics, we learn that the character Sylvie Lushton, aka the Enchantress, actually gained her powers from Loki, and the one we see in the show may be more in line with her. There's a brand new TV spot that shows her being brought in by the TVA as both a child and adult, and there are some little things that we can take from this. Now, she likely didn't have her powers when she was a kid, and this would explain why when she goes to the TVA in episode 3, she's unaware that they won't work. Potentially, the old Loki could have taken her in and then given her her gifts, and she may have then learned to use them. He may have called her Loki, but she could have changed this to Sylvie to distance herself from him. Him being the organization's head would explain why she hates the name Loki and why she also wants to take down the TVA. Also, her being a kid when she was brought in explains why she knows she was adopted, and potentially her parents died just before this, and then she was raised by someone else. Next episode, it does look like she's taken in by the TVA as an adult, so they will probably rescue the pair from the Mantis, and then we will learn more about her past. This potentially could involve how she was taken in by them, turned into an agent like the rest of the variants, and then she decided to defect. If we get this theory right, then I'm going to change my name to the Credible Hulk, and if we get it wrong, I'll probably not mention it ever again, and just say, remember that time I got the double vision theory right, yeah? You guys remember? I was right. Now obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the theories, so make sure you comment below and let me know. As a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a prize draw on the 30th of June, in which we're giving away 3 copies of the Phase 3 MCU box set. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the video. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our full breakdown of the episode, which will be linked on screen right now. Huge thank you for getting this trending yesterday, it really means a lot, and if you haven't watched it yet, then what the hell is wrong with you? Now that out of the way, thank you for sticking through the video. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.
Ah, damn, that was it.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry.
Okay, where was I?
What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Isn't today the summer solstice? I feel like today is the first day of summer, right?
It's the 21st, I think it is.
Yeah, that's today.
Is that today?
Yeah.
Bitch, I know the day of the week.
Oh, is that end of Mercury and get a reggaeton?
All right.
Summer solstice.
This song, y'all, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. It's the new Apple Music commercial song. And I was like, oh my God. So every commercial break, I said, ooh, play the song again.
I like it.
Commercial break, I was going like this. little vibe as I was watching BET Encore. Shout out to them crazy ass bitches. I almost had no time to watch TV either, so I'm glad I found a time to watch TV this weekend.
That's good. Damn, I haven't watched TV all week.
Tell me this ain't a bop.
I like it. Who is this?
Girl, Mistake on Downtown.
I love Mistake. Yeah. Oh.
How you love Mistake on? You ain't know the song though.
Because I don't know the song. I see his other shit on YouTube.
That's about it. Oh, that's why you like Mistake?
Yes, I do like him. That one song.
The one.
That's all I needed to see. I was like, okay, this guy got talent.
Just one song. All I need is one song. One song. Well, it's like, but whatever.
I mean, it's okay. We can.
Well, y'all know we back with 3 mics. Today we got another Friends with Benefits joining us on the couch of See the Thing Is Pod. I'm Mandy B. Y'all know Bridget. She getting through. She came up like a soldier.
She's gonna let Mandy talk for her most of the time because she currently is experiencing unbelievable sinus pressure from the sinus infection, and I sound like a combination of Kermit and Eeyore. So
You sound like me.
No, you don't sound like me.
No, you sound sexy as fuck. Like that morning, when you wake up, you're like, what's going on, dude?
I don't think my man felt like that this morning. He was like, "Cool, get your breath out, get your mouth breathing. You mouth breathing right now, sis. Leave me alone."
Y'all hear got that sick breath.
Yeah.
Not a sick breath. There is sick breath.
There is sick breath.
Y'all hear a third mic. We are joined today by our Friends with Benefits.
Yeah.
Z Nasty, baby.
What's going on?
And I don't know if she's as nasty as me, but she's just what D Nasty? Are you nasty?
I'm a little nasty.
You just a little bit nasty.
I'm a little bit nasty.
I know. I see when that dress you came with the minis.
It's very good
Right.
short. I get like a little sneak peek after like the second glass of wine.
So if y'all are watching on the YouTube, zoom in. No, I'm fine. Don't do that. That's not good, right? We can't say that. Nope. Sorry. Oops.
No. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. You don't even want to see what's going on in this. See what?
Before we started, you said that, what type of dress did you have on? Because I just said it was like a little floral mini dress.
This is what I call the victim dress. And I'm sorry if it's problematic, but I call it the victim dress.
We just need context. Why is it the victim dress?
Well, I just feel like growing up when you watch a lot of movies or a lot of SVU and it's like a mystery movie or something, you always see like a woman, unfortunately, who's victimized and then she got a little flowy, flowery dress.
Bro, you know what? We got to be
You're gonna find me like in a store somewhere with this dress.
It is very Lifetime movie. It is.
You're
right.
It's
giving Lifetime. It's giving Lifetime. Yeah, it's giving Sleeping with the Enemy.
There you go.
You're very Dominican Julia Roberts right now.
Very Dominican Julia Roberts. Pelican Brief is some shit.
Well, shit, I know it's been a busy week for all of us. I mean, well, I guess let's start with because right after we came here on last Monday, so Bridget actually was playing in these nice little softball, baseball camps that made her ass look
I
fat.
saw it on the
You
ground.
saw that? I was like, God damn. So, do you want to tell them about the charity game that you
Yes.
won?
And
Bitch,
won.
she a champion,
We
y'all.
are softball tournament champs.
Congratulations.
Yes, it was. We played
Talk
in.
your shit, queen.
We played in the legacy game, honoring. I think it's 25 years of like Ken Griffey Jr.'s legacy in baseball. And so we had Foot Locker got together with Nike and put together a couple different teams. ASAP Ferg had a team. Our homegirl Rox Brown, shout out Rox Brown, 50 Fouls had a team. And then my boy Nigel Sylvester, who is a professional BMX rider, he had a team. That's the team I was on.
Nice.
And it was great. We played a lot more games than I thought. I initially signed up thinking it was going to be one
She
game.
thought it was one game. After her game, she was like, all right, we could go get drinks. I said, I'm
like, we could go get a beer down the street and some clams. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, nah, I think you got like 2 more games. I was like, nah, you bugging out. I asked. They were like, yeah, it's a tournament, so you got to play one more game after this, and then whoever wins that game will tally up the runs. And then, so we ended up having to play 2 more games, which was fine. And I played very actively and aggressively in the first game, and I hit the ball and slid to first base.
She inside. Oh, but she tumbled, fumbled, and rolled.
It was very like fire emergency stop, drop, and roll style. But once I hit the ground, I did slide a little on the ground, but it was after I fell to my knees.
Got it. So you gave it a yo on the first one, and like the second one you was like,
well, and then it ended up being a foul ball anyway. So I was like, all right. So
she's going
my
back and
knees,
that up again.
right? So my knees were all like I had contusion. I definitely had a contusion on the inside of my left knee. There's no way around it. But yeah,
I saw that you posted something. You were like, I need some AD40 or WD40.
I need some WD-40 for my
That's for a
knees.
car, ain't it?
Yeah, it's oil. And you gotta, yeah.
Do we have anything for humans for that?
I mean, arnica.
And I ain't gonna hold this.
Arnica.
So all I know is I got invited to the game because her man was in there. Was a lot of our mutual friends, Ryan, in last week's episode, he was playing as well. And so they invited me to a game. Bitch, I'm thinking basketball. I do not know why. I'm like, oh, y'all got a game? I'm gonna pull up.
Nice.
Bitch, it's a whole fucking baseball field. I was like, shit. So it was cool. Like, they had like I was like, ooh, hot dogs, beer. This makes sense. Let me do this. Then they was eating like peanuts. I was like, dang, got some boiled peanuts? So I'm sitting here asking everybody for boiled peanuts. And they're like, what did you say? I said boiled peanuts. And literally no one knows what boiled peanuts are. And
Are those the ones that smell good? That they're like in the street and they eat the street?
No,
those are like honey roasted.
Those are sweetened nuts or something,
those
right?
are honey roasted nuts. Yeah.
So boiled peanuts, first off, this shit, thank you for pulling it up, Scream Man. You can get them in a can, but I'm gonna cook y'all some, because I didn't realize none of y'all even knew what boiled peanuts were.
Never heard of
y'all. I also asked Parks, I asked Alex, I don't know where the fuck y'all grew up, that y'all don't know shit. But here, but it's
why would you peanut water in it?
Okay, okay, calm down.
Like hot peanut water?
Hold on.
It's not peanut water.
Okay.
You boil the peanuts, they stay in the shell.
Okay.
And then like you can make it spicy. Like some people add like different pepper flakes or different peppers. So you can have them spicy. And then
Oh, they talk so loud.
the nut just comes
Alright, let's focus. We good? We got this? Going? Go.
Like it's over. But they are so delicious. Like I was driving back up from Florida with my homegirl.
Of course it's a Florida
Okay,
shit.
actually calm down. We were going through Alabama and then Georgia, and I said, bitch, if there is a sign with boiled peanuts, we gotta stop. So this is normally something in the South you can either get from like the gas station, but if you're like driving, a lot of times they sell them on the side of the road.
Okay. We just never
delicious.
tried it. There's no judgment here.
No judgment. Good.
No.
I just tried it. I never had them like
I know they seem like they might be a little tasty.
good. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it one day. But also, you said the honey nuts. I've never gotten them things either. The shit that they sell on like Times Square.
They smell better than they actually taste.
Okay.
And they never give you the fresh ones. I'm like, yo, I'll give you an extra $1. Give me the fresh ones. But how do you know that's fresh? It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Because it be the little thing. The little
But how do you know it's fresh? Like Krispy Kreme at least light up they sign. How do you know it's nuts is fresh?
You're watching it from your face. Yeah. Like you want it from the wok. I guess it's a wok. I don't know what it is. But from their little pan, they be making it. That's where you get the aroma. But they're gonna give you the little dry ass bag that's been there since yesterday. And
But I even get planners. Planners got all them little like different flavor nuts.
it's just one of those things. But for me, especially growing up in New York, like it reminds me of like going to 34th Street and going to go shopping, and then you're kind of hungry, but you know your money is for your accessories.
Do I buy the ring set from Aljo or do I buy these honey roasted cashews?
Exactly. So they're like $1. The peanuts used to be $1, and then a cashew with a coconut is like $2.
Oh, I ain't gonna hold you. Boiled peanuts gonna run you at least 3 to 5.
Oh wow.
They got different sizes. Like you get like the medium or like the extra large, and they come in like styrofoam cups.
Okay.
But
I'm willing to try it.
I like the Dollar.
I'm definitely willing to try it.
Yeah.
Although I think we should try to see if with the inflated rates of outside,
Yeah.
the nuts in Times Square is probably $2 now, bitch.
I'm sure they
Because outside is just fucking expensive, bro.
Yo, the Ubers lately?
Look,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna hold you. It's crazy. Well, I guess
I feel like I'm chartering a limo every time I call.
I'm over it.
I'm like, I'm waiting outside for the driver to get out and
bitch, you know they coming in a Camry.
I took a city bike the other day. I'm like, fuck it.
Wait, no, you didn't?
From the Bronx to Washington Heights. It was $3.81.
That's $3.
It's always
Insurance with affordable rates. And it turns out it's not just like driving a car.
It's always $3.
But it was $3.81. Rounded up to $4.
Wait, you was just like fucking on a bike
insurance, so I didn't even check. But I had already spent a lot of money on Uber, so I'm like, let me just do this. And Lyft has this thing where you can
get the bike.
Yeah, you scan it, and it was almost $4. So it was
Great.
nice.
I think that's when I tell you that we fuck all the time, that is some New York shit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hop in an Uber, so I got on a bike. Like, nowhere else are people gonna be like, yo, I just decided to take a bike there instead.
It was cute though. It was a workout. I was like, okay, this is my workout.
You didn't wear the victim dress on the
I
bike.
did not wear the victim dress. I had some shorts though, some victim shorts. Some victim green and shit.
Well, outside of, I guess, again, being outside, it was Jonesy.
Yes,
It was.
And you was out in these streets. You actually went to the park that everyone said, bitch, don't go there.
Fort Greene Park. I think that's probably why my allergies are now in the space that they're
The
in.
entire New York City was there.
Oh, so I didn't know allergies.
No, well, listen, she back to me. I know it. I can still, regardless of whether or not I can breathe, I can still smell and taste.
Okay.
She just got germs. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. If she didn't have a nigga, I would've been like, bitch, you got mono. Who was you kissing, bitch?
Right?
But
I got my little tea today, guys.
that's always my joke with my friends.
Mono?
When they just start getting sick, bitch, you suck the dirty one.
How many times you have mono? I forgot mono.
First off, mono's for white people.
That's a
white people shit.
White people shit.
But
That's like
see,
WPS.
It is WPS.
Right?
White people shit. But wait, why do only white people get mono?
I don't know.
And not us?
It's lice. Have you ever noticed that?
Actually, bitch, I'm not white. I got lice.
You did?
Bitch, my mama said, fuck this shit and chopped all our hair off.
Oh no.
Bitch, I got gum in my hair. My mom did.
We got it from my daycare. And I'm not gonna hold you. After we got lice, bitch, my mama kept our hair braided with beads. She would not let us just have hair anymore. So my white ass mama was plaiting me and my sister's hair and attaching beads. Our hair was not out. She was like, I'm see y'all scalp, bitch. I'm like, bro, like, and again, this is for the white people listening now, all three of you. Like, when you get lice, bro, my mom had to like, it's almost like termites or bed bugs, my nigga. Like, she had to put all of our stuffed animals in like a plastic bag and treat them, and then like you gotta treat it so you get this fucking shit that goes on your head and it burns. It burns. But then like you can't just put it in and wash it out. So then, and this is real nasty that we were talking about lice right now.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is to get rid of the lice because they lay eggs. You have to part your hair and comb through to make sure all the eggs
Oh
are
my God,
out.
don't get me crazy.
When I tell you, I was just like, this is nasty. Yeah. After we got lice, she chopped both of our hairs off, and then when it grew back, she literally kept us braided up with beads. So all of our old pictures, we have fucking the pink and white heart beads with the braids, with fucking snaggletooth, no teeth, and it's just braids and beads all around.
Yo, little kids deal with the nastiest shit. I remember ringworm. Remember ringworm?
Okay, that is disgusting. And
it's from the Bronx.
It's from wait, so you just have ringworm?
I don't think I had it, but I think my little cousins had it like right here. And we thought it was eczema because you get it in like the joint. But it was ringworm because it's. I don't think it's ringworm. It don't like come in a circle. It looks like a circle. I think I may have had it.
How do you get ringworm?
I have no idea. It's like school shit. The same way you get like chicken pox, like it's school. It's nasty little kids. Yeah, me too. I have a scar somewhere.
I feel like it's just kids in general. Just little kids in general are dirty. It doesn't matter if you're white or not. I feel like kids in general are dirty at school.
Yeah.
At school. Schools are dirty. Just schools in general are, for the most part, really, they're hard to keep clean. They're
Yeah.
just hard to keep clean.
Yeah, and even with this COVID shit, that's why I'm like, I don't even know what their whole life was like over the last year. Because kids, you can't keep them from not touching shit or putting shit in their mouth and all that.
I mean, listen.
They're turning to TikTok.
What do you mean?
Like that's what kids do. They can't go outside. This whole year, like they became way more into social media than before. If that even was possible.
I ain't gonna hold you. Every week, I'm like, I'm gonna start myself this week. And then I just look at how more advanced these videos are getting, and I'm like, I don't have the time.
It's too much.
I can't do it. We really be on here sounding like nothing. I'm like a ticker-talker? No, I'm not doing a tickety-talk damn TikTok. The tickety-talk ain't happening here. No, baby.
It's hard. It's hard. I've done like a few little posts here and there, but I feel so cringy.
You do good, Alex. You're very.
I feel like we need to get on TikTok.
You are
If we don't do it soon, then it's gonna be too late. We gotta do it. Because it's not gonna be really Yeah. When they start, like, whenever they come on like TikTok, version 3 or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be too far behind. It's like the people who never got on Instagram, right? The people that was just on Facebook and didn't get on Instagram like during the first couple years, they're not gonna get on Instagram now because it's
they are.
There's reels now. There are voiceovers.
Well, they're just doing the
stories.
same thing that they're doing on Facebook or Instagram. Like that's why I feel
I tell you, I don't know shit about Facebook.
I hate Facebook.
I go to Facebook and don't know what the fuck.
It's so toxic.
Oh, but not only is it toxic, it's just like, it's all the people I don't give a fuck about. So why am I over here?
Trying to reconnect.
Trying to read.
Why? We don't
This
even
is
friends.
like, what is it? With the little beads, this is called the pyramid scheme.
What's that?
Oh, the berries, the goji berry. That was something. It was like a pyramid scheme. And it's like every time you go on Facebook, one of your like your old high school friends is trying to sell you some shit. And you're part of, like,
Okay, I ain't gonna hold you.
That and Herbalife.
Herbalife.
Please stop.
Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was one of the people.
Oh, I can see that.
Okay, I was in school, right? Okay, let me tell y'all. So I was in school and I was 4, right? So I was like, oh, okay. So it was when that, wanna be here or wish you were here, the World Ventures shit. Did y'all know about the World Venture Pyramid Scheme? So basically, it's like,
I don't know.
No, but
You be coming up with some straight up
here
things.
is yours.
Okay.
Damn, look at you. You want to put just everything on photo. Do you? You like the beaches and fucking Disney World, bitch? Look, no. So World Ventures was like a traveling group. And what happens is you pay like a yearly fee, but every time you got someone to join, it moved you to like another tier. And basically like once you had a certain thing, you got residual income and you got a car when you reach like a certain tier. But you had to constantly keep pitching people because 3 people will go to this side, the 3 people will go to this side. Then once they get people, then they're
A literal
it was
pyramid.
literally
If I
a
had
fucking
the people that's
pyramid.
not seen, she's literally like miming a triangle. She's miming a pyramid.
And I got a few people to sign up, but I just wasn't. I'm not a good. I feel like I can tell people, but I don't like being annoying.
Yeah, you gotta be annoying.
Like you gotta be fucking annoying. You gotta be like, hey, you think you're getting invited for a fucking movie dinner and they no bitch, they want to sit you down in front of the TV and hey, watch this 30-minute.
There's a pamphlet involved.
It's a pamphlet, and I just started feeling like this is not what my life is supposed to be, and I'm not good with hearing no. Like,
Yeah.
you tell me no one time, that's it. I ain't gonna
Right.
argue with
I'm
you.
not taking offensively, yes.
Then after a while, it's like, you don't really fuck with me. That's why. Now we can't be friends because you ain't want to watch my 30-minute video to sell you on something that can give you residual income. I'm sitting here
I'm
free.
trying to help Right. That's what it turns into. I'm trying to help you out.
That's what it turned into. So it was like one of like the worst things. And I think I thought about it too. Like I've been a part of a lot of those things. I sold like steering fluid or washing fluid one time at a gas station. One day it was awful.
You're a hustler.
Bro, because I fucking answered y'all know back in the day when you needed a job, maybe not you because you was out here touring with Jay-Z, but back when you had to fucking work, bitch, I used to find my jobs on Craigslist. So you know
We had this conversation about crazy ass jobs. Like, we not gonna do that. I worked at a pirate museum. Please stop.
Wait, that is really I didn't hear that story.
I worked at a pirate museum.
What is a pirate
I
museum?
had a Velcro parrot that was on my shoulder.
You put a whole costume?
Not a whole costume.
Just a pair on your shoulder.
Just a Velcro parrot on my shoulder.
Got it.
Just to let people know that they were in a pirate museum. I worked in the gift shop.
Oh.
And during like doubles, if you were working like a double, would you like talk to it at times? Or you
I would forget that it was there and walk out of the job, and people would be like, that's something was wrong, right? Why she got a stuffed animal on her shoulder like that? It was not moving either. It was perched. It wasn't like a soft plush stuffed animal. It was one of those like weird, like the creepy ones with the felt fabric, so it was like mad stiff.
Like, what do you call that? When you stuff an animal?
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
It kind of looked like
That's
taxidermy.
the name?
That's like, you know,
Yeah, when you see animals that are dead that are stuffed.
Yeah, could you look that up? Where did you get that name from? Because I'm thinking taxi. That don't make no sense.
The art of preparing stuffing and mounting the skins of animals.
I don't know.
It's a lifelike effect.
like if you go to like a cabin or whatever, you see like the reindeer over the fireplace.
When I tell you English has to be the hardest fucking language. Taxidermy? Where the fuck? How does that go relate to animals and stuffing them?
But also stuffing, taking live animals, killing them, and then stuffing their bodies to make them look like it's the most American thing ever.
Yeah, that's some weirdo shit.
Some weirdo shit. So that was that was a weird job I had though. And then I was a dispatcher for a pest control company. Like, come on. It was always weird jobs. Yeah, I was weird jobs before that.
You live
Yeah.
You live like, y'all can hear us talk more about this on our Patreon coming soon. I guess of course the last thing that happened this weekend, shout out to all the daddies. The zaddies too, because I mean I get my day out like, yeah, happy Zaddies Day. But
said she texted her. She said she texted her.
Yeah, she knows exactly.
She knows I was single.
Okay.
Damn, I did slip
Said
up
you
and say that.
happen.
Okay,
You
my
slip
bad,
in your
right?
phone. You slip in
My
your
bad,
phone
I'm
and you can't
single,
get up. You slip in your phone, you can't
I'm
get
really
up.
not taking
You
either
have to
too.
get her life
Shit.
alert.
Well, it was Father's Day, which is crazy because I will say I didn't see as many like tweets and stuff where the moms were coming out like,
Thank God.
I'm the daddy.
There wasn't that much anger this year.
Thank God.
Yeah, where was that from?
No, there was some. There was some.
You saw some?
Yeah. There was some. I saw some tweets from some random white women saying that they should ban Father's Day because Father's Day is demeaning to mothers. I was like,
Shut up. I'm so tired of everything being
can we stop?
Like,
just let something exist. Just let something exist for the that we can celebrate. Like there's a million and one things that don't matter that we celebrate. Why can't we celebrate something that actually matters?
And a father matters. It definitely
I'm
matters.
not gonna hold you. I posted my daddy on Instagram,
Me
but
too.
I ain't calling him nothing.
Oh shit.
Wouldn't be here without this man. If they ain't had to ask for me, he didn't get my number.
Well, mine said, so I couldn't text him.
Yeah, I don't got a daddy, but you know.
Well, damn. You know, everybody.
But I got to knock him.
Wait, we gotta chill, cause we're on a toxic network, and niggas gonna be, oh, these bitches got daddy issues. That's why
I don't have any daddy issues. My dad's not alive anymore, so I don't have any issues.
My dad's not alive, but he was never around, so it doesn't.
Yeah, and my daddy,
you don't have daddy issues.
I mean, I don't have daddy issues. We just don't really see eye to eye. Like, here's the thing, you know, when you become an adult, like,
you see
you
them for an adult.
you start viewing people as adults and no longer as like family members or dads or moms. Like, so then you also just start to go back and not look at the trauma that they put onto you, but you also start to just be like, damn, you was fucked up. Like you were a fucked up individual.
Yeah.
So when you think of like, and it wasn't even cheating, but it was just like a different girlfriend, and then I mean we dealt with child support issues. So like, it's just like, I think I'm good on you. I think I'm good on you. But I ended up hanging out with him on Christmas when I went down, and it was nice to see him. But again, Father's Day, it was just like, yeah, it's cute. It's another day too. Yeah, and then it also reminds me too, all of the men that I do know that are daddies, and it's just like, damn.
I got a lot of
Everyone's out here spreading seeds though too. Like,
yeah, but there's a lot of, I think there's something to be said about our generation of dads. I think our generation of dads is awesome. Like all my friends that are dads are really great dads. Like I think that yesterday was a combination of celebration for the dads in my generation that are my age that are like really active. My man is a dad. He spent yesterday with his kids. So I mean, from that regard, I think it's really great. But then I also have friends that lost dads to COVID, and so yesterday was their first Father's Day without their dad, and I know that was really traumatizing because everything is opening back up, and it seems like life is getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And I remember when my dad passed, feeling that way too about everybody that was kind of around. It was like a natural, like just a resentment kind of that everybody else has something to celebrate, and everyone's life is continuing to move on, and you're kind of still sorting and
You're not ready, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a long time. I think days like Father's Day and Mother's Day are really triggering for a lot of people. So I definitely I commend anybody who's lost a parent who gets through Mother's Day and Father's Day without completely falling apart and unraveling. But if you did yesterday, then that's fine too. Just feel your feelings and know what they're valid.
I guess that we'll lead to one of the topics that I specifically want to bring up because in a lot of the conversations that I have with my homies that are dads, the issue a lot of times is with the mother. And it's not that they don't want to show up; it's almost like they're pushed away to even be able to show up.
Yes.
So Ace Hood took to his Instagram to complain that he was not able to see his children. He opened up about his situation, claiming that his children's mother, Shanice, denied him access to their kids to prove her story right, and because she wants more money. He said that the reason I do not have my children today is because the mother of my children wants her story to be right, which means her story in her mind is that I am not a good father. My children don't want to spend time with me, and I don't support my kids. Also, I'm never there for the children, so that's her story in her mind, and she wants to tear me down as a person. She did respond to this and say, it ain't about money. However, you owe me $95,000 in that child support. So a lot of people were like, well, sis, if it's not about the money, then what are you doing? She did also come out and say she does make more money than Ace Hood, and also claim that the only reason he's even balling right now is because that nigga took out the PPP loan. The shade was there. role in Love and Hip Hop Miami, which I know a lot of people do put a little bit too much of their personal lives on that show to me, for a check, for clout, whatever it comes. And I know you went on that show and said that you would never bring a personal, like your personal business to TV again. I wanted to bring this up, however, because this is the narrative with a lot of men that, yo, I want to be a good dad, but she's not letting me show up the way I can show up. And
I mean, this is tough.
this is tough.
These situations are always tough, and I empathize with both sides because I think we've seen in our own lives, we've seen fathers that they're like what we call the Christmas and Easter Christians that only come to church on Christmas and Easter, where it's like you're a dad and you're not as consistently active throughout a lot of the other occasions and don't necessarily show up the other time you would like to eat it, but then on Father's Day you want to show up.
When I put a little picture of this,
But you know what? I could see though how moms would have an issue with that.
Absolutely.
Like, nigga, you just want to show up on fucking Father's Day and be a father? No, nigga, you gotta show up every other time. And what's crazy is I actually experienced the opposite of this. So my mom went to court to ask for more money, and because she asked for more money, we ended up all having to take a DNA test, and he didn't speak to us for a year. So I understand a little bit how the money and the function of child support gets in the way of the relationship with the children on both sides. But what I also don't like about this is one of the things he said in particular. He said that she wants her story to be that I don't take care of my kids, I don't provide for them, I don't show up as a father. My problem with that is, and for anyone who's a parent out there, the way I just said, like, I think back and look at people as adults now, one of the things that I remember the most about growing up is the shit talking that my daddy did. Anytime we were with him, he rubbed it in my face, your mother didn't do this, your mother, and just talking about the other parent. Right. Because of course my dad, he ain't had to see us. So when I went with my dad, he's the one who got us the name brand clothes. He's the one who took us out to eat because he couldn't afford to do all those things. My mom was still parent of 3, worked multiple jobs, but going out to Olive Garden was like, oh, and we still have money, bitch. She said, bitch, you order off this menu and that's it.
Yeah. Y'all both doing the super sweaty.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah, and that was before all that. But we really went there because the bitch was unlimited breadsticks and she really wanted us to get full off of them breadsticks and salad, bitch. It was like, we could just have an appetizer if y'all full now. Drink some water, drink some water. Drink some water. Oh, I ain't gonna hold you. We would go out and like we would have to ask, like, can we get a drink? Because yeah, the water was unlimited water, but no, we had to be like, can we get tea? Yeah. But no, so again, I want to bring up the fact that when parents feud, the thing that really sits with the children, more than whatever the child support and all this thing, one of the things that sit with a child for life is how y'all talk negatively about each other.
Right.
Like 100%. Yeah. And I don't think that that's something that a parent even understands. You may just be like, yeah, I bet your mama don't do this for you, or this. Those things sit with you forever. Yeah. Forever.
And I honestly don't even like the post and putting this up on Instagram like this. If you got the time to so eloquently explain yourself, right? But how many like stories?
It's
a few of them, you know? Instead of explaining to the world, how about you pop up to your baby mother's house and try to have a real conversation as an adult and be like, hey, listen, you know, if you have the time to really try to state your case for the world to see, the person that you really need to state your case with is with the baby mom.
Talk your shit.
That's it. Like, this to me, this is stupid. I actually agree with the whole this is for a story.
And she's with child. She's pregnant in bed, right?
Right there.
She's in a whole other situation living her life. So it's not. Yeah, this is too much. It's too much.
Yeah. Well, speaking of babies,
too much.
What an S. Lala, here's some more wine. She ready. Lala filed for divorce after Melo's mistress allegedly gave birth to twins in London. Let me just give y'all the backstory on how messy this is. So first off, Melo already had a daughter on Lala a couple years ago. This new mistress apparently has been receiving financial support. They've also agreed for her to have the babies over in the UK so that they can be British citizens. However, they were premature and came out 2 months early, so now she has to be in the hospital with them, and one of the babies requires surgery. And I guess that amidst all of this, Melo has not really showed up how he needs to show up as a father, and so the mistress put him on blast. Because outside of not maybe showing up even financially for needing the money for the surgery, she really does want Mello to have a relationship with these children. So this doesn't surprise me that Lala broke up or divorced Mello because this is now 3 kids during their marriage.
Yeah.
I do want to.
I read somewhere that it's been done for a very long time.
They've been separated,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't doubt that they've been trying to mend or work it out or work together in having the family that I think they both really want out of each other. It's weird. I want to know, in a marriage, is a baby y'all's final straw? Like, is that a final straw?
That's not even a marriage. Like, somebody's probably like, get out of here now.
No, that's a not a good. You have a baby on me, I'm done.
What's that mean when the guy throws a little baby on?
No, stop it. Stop it.
It's figuratively.
Yeah.
Nobody throwing babies up there. Figuratively.
Here's the thing I wanted to talk about, though, okay? My eyes are watering. Look, here's what I wanted to talk about, because here, we can bash Mello all we want. But this is not a male bashing podcast. And though we are women, we like to hold both parties accountable. Okay. So let's get into it. The mistress
is 38.
The mistress is not only 38. She knew that she had a relationship with a married man. So, you're fucking with this married man. Now you have kids with him. And he's shooting
And she's 38 and was idea. She knew what she was doing.
Stop it.
You can't. It's very hard.
It's hard,
to have
but
a baby after a certain time. Of course, it's not impossible, but twins, that's ideal.
You think so? You think she like took his sperm
at 38?
I think that he was shooting up the glove, but I think that she was probably, those
She was
injections that
trying
you take to be more fertile.
to be more fertile.
No, that's not IVF. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's hormones or something.
I think it might be a part of IVF. No?
I mean, they do that for IVF.
They do it for
Yeah, they do.
She probably was very ready for it, because I think it's really hard to have twins.
He would
after
have, in order for it to be IVF, he would have had to give his sperm to the doctor.
No, he gave it to her.
My thing is, do you think, as a woman, if you're dealing with a married man or a man in a relationship, and things come about like a child, do you think it's, do you think that the mistress is in the right to demand this sort of relationship, knowing that she was the side?
You don't have an unpopular
We like unpopular opinions around.
No, I think it's the same way that the choice belongs to the woman as far as what she wants to do with her body. There should also be a choice for the man involved to decide how he wants to show up. Should the woman make the choice without, you know what I mean? And she has a right to make her choice. I think whatever she decides is a cause and effect scenario. I think if she decides to carry on, and have children, especially with somebody else's husband.
I do want to say too, there was a conversation. He clearly did ask her to have an abortion as well. So there were reports that there was a conversation of her having an abortion. I guess she went too far along and it was high risk, which is also why she had it prematurely. She had babies 2 months premature. And so
that happens a lot with twins.
Yeah, but that's also the thing too. Like, it's odd because I don't know if. And again, this is the part that sucks. What you just said, there is like it's a double-edged sword because I don't want to be the father of your children, and you move forward with still having the kids. It's like
it's just kind of like it's like if it's 2 people that make a decision to do it, then when is it not still 2 people making that decision to do it?
I mean, if you guys are having sex,
it's like it's unprotected, and we're holding both people accountable, and both people are responsible for their choices. If you're making an individual choice, you're responsible for the individual choice, and the man is responsible for his individual choice. So I think once.
But to me, is that fair when both of you know that if you have unprotected sex, the consequence is a baby? To me, at that point, y'all are agreeing that we both know the consequences, and we know that the outcome could be a baby.
Of course.
Yeah, but to me, that's when the decision makes.
That they adult, they should know this.
I understand, but also the outcome of that situation, then the decision is now the woman's decision. So the woman gets to decide what she wants to do. So the decision is not for the man to decide. You decided to consummate, sure, the woman decided to consummate. The next part of that process is a whole other different decision. To carry through with the pregnancy or not carry through. And I just think that
being a hypocrite right now because Lord knows when I had my abortion, he wanted me to keep it. And I was like, ew, no.
Yeah, I mean,
I said no.
but it's not,
It wasn't his decision.
But I
You're
do,
right.
it was
You're
not
right.
his
It wasn't
decision
his
to make.
decision.
It's
You're
your,
right.
it's solely your decision. So if we're then separating the accountability and the onus in that decision, then we can't then turn around and say, well, now you have to make a decision based on my decision. No, I don't think that's fair. I don't agree with that.
Why are you looking like that?
because I feel like this is a really tough situation. I'm thinking, like, I'm having sex with, let's say I'm having sex with somebody else's man, right? Everybody knows it. I'm gonna make sure that I'm either on the pill, I have an IUD, we're fucking with condoms. There's something going on that's going to prevent me from having sex.
But
Now, if you
only
shoot it up
because
as
you know that you're a side chick, would you?
If I'm a side bitch, yeah, unless I'm a side
What if
bitch
you
that's
really
fine.
like him? Yeah. What if you end up?
Yeah, but
really
that's
liking
somebody
him?
else's man. Like, I don't want to be the side bitch with a side baby. I want to have my family. So there's a disconnect there. Like, I don't understand that because it's like, y'all not together. Why y'all doing this wrong? Why you shooting up the club? Pull up. He could put it out.
Niggas do not.
I know
They
they
do
don't.
not like condoms. They be allergic as fuck. They be like, they allergic.
Anyway, I'm just thinking like she probably got pregnant. Maybe she would have an abortion, but I know that it's legal and everybody, like of course I'm pro-choice, but it's also like I think it's hard to have an abortion. Like I've been in the room with friends who have had to get it because they have to get it, but it's not an easy thing. It's not like I have an appointment.
Girl, me and my homegirl was partying the week of her
Well,
abortion.
a lot of people that
I was like,
I would drink it sometimes. Okay, I would feel very guilty, and then you see that it's twins. Like this is not Jocelyn's Cabaret double homicide, bitch. You know what I mean? Like I think it's really hard to do it with one. When it's twins, it's like a double miracle.
I don't know anything about this other woman, but if she's 38 years old and she doesn't have any children,
yeah,
then
this
it's
is
also
what
something to consider.
Yeah.
I think again, it's really tough to say that the man is not responsible for the kid, but it also if the arrangement, there's too many missing pieces that we don't know. But if the conversation and the arrangement initially was,
that's the thing. She does say that he acted like a single man and insisted that he was, but most men
act like single men.
You're right.
Like men have a whole wedding band, all the Cartier love bracelets, okay, and the wedding band, and still be out
and
the
live
streets
together
for everybody,
and still be for everybody.
You're
So
right.
that's
That's
right.
not a good argument. At the end of the day, she's 38, and judging on the picture, she looks like a beautiful woman. She knows what time it is. She knows what time it is. So this is not, you're not 22, 23 looking for a come up, sis. If you're 38, you've been around the world enough to know what type of time you're dealing with when you're dealing with somebody else's husband who's famous, who's incredibly rich. He's throwing money at you now. Not because he didn't want to be a part of it, he's going to throw money at you because that is the financially responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
He had no interest in fathering these children. She made that decision knowing that. So that's on her now.
I do want to say give a shout out as well to Lala just because she's always just handled things classy.
And she shouted us Day for Father's Day.
Yeah, that took a lot.
That's a real.
I shouted out my daddy ain't gonna talk to that nigga. So I don't know really. I mean, it looks good. It's Father's Day, It could have been optics. It very well could have been.
I mean, she been hanging out with Kardashian. She already knows the PR stuff. She already knows.
Listen.
Not like this is like grown up.
This was. Well, they watched apparently. Their son had a tournament yesterday, so they both went together to support their son together.
It's cute.
It's cute. I ain't gonna hold you. But we gonna speak of babies. Can we continue with the baby talk?
Sure.
Literally the baby. The baby.
I thought we were talking about Nick Cannon and his tribe.
I mean, it's actually some shit I didn't care about, but we can talk about it now too. He has a whole drum line. Okay, so fine. Let's talk about that too, because I know we talked about him already before.
I would like him to publicly explain what's happening.
Well, I have read before that he has said women are his vice.
Okay,
He doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs. That's what he said. And he said women are my vice.
That's not okay because you're affecting the lives of all these women.
I mean,
she don't affect the lives of drugs or liquor. Like,
she looks happy. She's celebrating.
First off, everyone looks happy in their fucking pregnancy pictures.
Yeah, you is.
Like, everyone looks happy in those pictures. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Here's my thing. I said this before. First off, I heard he got big legs.
Not with the bun.
He was with everybody, like back in the day. He was with Christina Milian, Mariah Carey.
He was married to Mariah though.
He was married. Mariah her baby. And I love Mariah.
Yeah,
I love Mariah. Mariah's my favorite. That's my
She's my favorite too. I'm looking at you like, she's
I love her.
trying to say that all biracial people look alike?
I mean,
Yeah.
look,
That's what she just tried to say, right? I'll take
you
it.
could look like Mariah.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my tribe.
I
We're the
know,
same
right?
tribe.
Yeah.
Mad deep voice.
Yeah. Little honey hair.
Little honey hair.
Now, it would be offensive if we
Yes,
said, oh,
beige
you look like
complexion.
J-Lo.
There's
No,
nothing
I
about
don't
it.
look,
I look nothing like J-Lo.
but that's where, that's what
J-Lo's also Puerto Rican. Not to me.
I mean, I don't look like Cardi, but I get Cardi all the time. But it's mostly
Really?
my voice.
Oh,
I think
the
it's
voice.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You give me more modern day Rosie Perez than you do Cardi.
Cardi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Rosie Perez is funny as shit. And anytime she opens her mouth.
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching, again, y'all know I like trash reality TV. You actually look like one of the girls on, the Batgirls Club.
Which one?
I don't even know her fucking name.
I don't know the name.
But she don't know. But y'all
I
like,
think I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
and she
Somebody
from
has
New
WhatsApp.
York. She from the Bronx.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Somebody sent it to me before. It's like a crazy
It's
white
on
girl.
your
She's white and
phone. The nigga on his fucking FaceTime.
Oh.
All right. So anyway, y'all know, ain't legal in making these streets. Okay, sorry. So Nick Cannon welcomed his seventh child with former Wall and Out model, which I guess that's where he finds them, bitch.
Oh my God.
It might be,
I
bitch.
don't
That
like
might be
it.
another situation, but he
Also,
also.
Wildin' Out is a little bit too on brand of a name for this activity.
So this weekend, his twins were born. Those were children 5 and 6, and this is now his seventh child that he's welcoming into the world with Alyssa Scott. Here's the thing.
He has two sets of twins.
He has 2 sets of twins.
Wow, he's very
This now
thorough.
makes his seventh child fifth baby mama.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. A lot of women want to hold these women accountable. And like, oh, well, they're doing it for a check. Da 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 da. First off, it does take way more than just money to raise children. I don't know why everyone's like, well, he got enough money, he can do it. Another thing is, all these women were clearly pregnant around the same exact time. So they didn't know that they was about to be baby number fucking 3, 4, and 5.
Or maybe they did. That's the thing. None of these women look upset. We have not heard any one of them complain.
Because they just got babies. They
No. Hormonally, when you're pregnant, your emotions are through the roof. I have never met a woman who's been pregnant who is not flipping and tripping balls every 30 seconds. About nothing most of the time. Like hormonally, you're all over the place. No, I think these women know exactly what's going on.
It's a sister wife.
There's a sister wives arrangement going on. Yeah, because they all look very at peace.
And he's in every picture with her.
In every
One thing
picture.
about Nick, he's gonna be in the delivery room with her. He's always in the
He
delivery room.
timed this out.
Yeah.
This is giving very deliberate, like, okay, 2 months, 1 month, 2 months, 2.
That is insane.
It is, but that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for him to come out and explain
Thinking
it.
of all the other women he's had sex with that just weren't ovulating.
Oh my god.
Because there's really only like the 2. Maybe he was asking all of them for their ovulation tracks. Maybe he knew. I don't know, but I don't know. To me, this is just. I did read something. I read a few things actually. And this is gonna be maybe just to be on Nick's side of the deal.
I feel bad for Mariah. I'll be so
Do you? Why?
They're not together. Because Mariah Carey's Mariah Carey. She doesn't want like her baby daddy just fucking everybody. Yeah, I would be like, I know how Mariah Carey is because I love her.
You know
You know
how
what I
she
mean? Yeah, I'm a lamb.
She walks around and doesn't know anybody. Mariah Carey is still like she's Mariah fucking Carey. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like now her children have all of these siblings with all these random ass people, and it's like she's not gonna deny
I'm
her
not
kids
gonna
the
lie.
chance.
I can't imagine she wants to go on trips with
No.
the family. She's fucking Mariah.
She's
Carey.
Mariah.
She's never gonna do that. The kids will probably do that. The kids will go. She'll let the kids go with Nick, and they'll do whatever. But she's not gonna be. No, it's not gonna be
Hanging out with
fucking big
wild
lounge on the
bitches.
yacht. No.
No, they will not be.
It's
the
not.
yacht with Mariah.
No.
The dolphins. No.
No dolphins and no butterflies for y'all. Good night.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this like goes moving forward. Like, yeah, they all happy now and they're not talking, but
I just need him to explain. I need him to explain what's happening.
well, apparently, again, let me go back to that. Apparently, he did come to Mariah and say he wanted 9 kids. She said no. So there's that rumor going around that he did say he wants 9. So technically, we should be expecting 2 more.
Oh shit.
There is also, and there was a joke made in very poor taste.
Who made it?
Lil Duval. It was made in very poor taste. So the same way we as women say, don't ask us when we're having a child because you don't know what we're going through. Lil Duval made the joke that Nick Cannon is having babies like he's preparing to die. And he does have lupus.
It's a sickness, right?
He has a sickness. So there is the conversation that maybe none of us know how sick he is. I mean, look, yeah, that was tragic. That was tragic for him to say. And it wasn't funny, especially because none of us knew how sick Chadwick Boseman was.
That's true.
And so we don't know, knowing that we know that Nick Cannon has lupus, we don't know.
But that's even worse.
That's even worse that joke
That's
was
even
made.
worse that joke was made.
Yeah.
Because then it gives life to the idea that he's just gonna have all of these children out here possibly without a dad.
Without a dad.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's so selfish.
That's an awful thought to
He was in the hospital not too long ago.
Not too long ago, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. Good luck to all these babies. Goddamn, that's a lot of babies.
On to the baby.
On to the baby. Please say the baby. So, alright, I ain't gonna hold you. This was a whole bunch of clusterfucking mess, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What you think about this?
Okay, so for y'all that do not know or maybe didn't see, did we even talk about the new single with Tori and the Baby?
No.
So Tori and the Baby have a single that's dropping. I don't even remember what the name of it is, but they both got like big heads in the video. Scat. It's called Scat. So they basically dropped their little video for Scat, SKAT, and there was a like of a tweet, and it said basically that both of these niggas shot somebody and didn't end up in jail.
I saw that.
And the baby liked that tweet. And you know he liked the tweet. That's really where it started. So this tweet, and of course, then here goes the baby acting like he didn't. He screen recorded and acted like Twitter was against him and that he never liked that tweet, but it was on his page as a like. Because I told you, we talked about our Patreon when you like shit, it shows up on your feed.
Yeah.
So anyways, she decided to tweet after seeing this and was like, support me in private and publicly do something different. These industry men are very strange. This situation ain't no damn beef, and I really wish people would stop downplaying it like it's some internet shit for like some retweets. She said justice is slow, so we've all seen. Back to my good day. Y'all know the baby is gonna be the baby. He be out here hitting bitches. So you know he be hitting bitches. So you know he wasn't gonna just let this slide. So he responded and was like, you don't let these folks get the best of you, thug. I don't got no bad energy for you. You know like I know I ain't no industry nigga. Let them fool you into thinking that you tripping. Stand on what you stand on without feeling like I'm against you. Stay focused, mind you. I want to play something because this is where I wanted the conversation to go. Of course, the internet loves pulling receipts, bitch. And in the receipts, there was a clip that resurfaced of Meg explaining working with Cardi after working with Meg. So y'all about here she goes explaining. Hey. Oh shit, hold on. That's still playing. Y'all know I'm over here doing a whole lot. My bad. Let me start that over. Here we go. That brought back up because clearly she was like, yo, in private you talked to me and you said you was on my side and now you got a song with the nigga you retweeted.
But it ain't even about the song because I don't think the song's been out for a few days and nobody said anything. It wasn't until he liked that tweet. And that's the biggest difference here because I don't think the Megan Stallion was liking tweets about, you know.
But also, whose song was it? Was it the baby song or Tory Lanez song?
Tory Lanez song.
So then,
the song is just
it's not that
and it's
no,
featuring the baby.
even if it's whether it's business or not business, like it's not the baby song. It's Tory Lanez song. The baby is the featured artist. We don't even know when they did this.
I also heard that this was before.
Right.
And
So
really
because of COVID, or so if Tory's record record, Tory can drop whatever he wants to drop. Do you know what I'm saying? It's got from that regard, as far as doing the song with him or releasing the video or whatever, that's one thing. I agree with you though. Commenting or liking something and participating in another part of the conversation is different, and it just looks messy. It looks messy.
Yeah, if you're like a big ass celebrity, people gonna peep that. Right. People know within minutes of you unfollowing somebody if you unfollow that person. If you're a big celebrity, like you should have known what you were doing in that situation.
Do you guys
bragging about shooting chicks? Like,
do you feel a way like how is it, because we're all in different industries?
Whoever cleared it, cleared it.
Oh yeah, see that's what, okay. So if you want to read that what he said, because that was about the song. That's where to me she did kind of bring it up about the song. He said, you ain't tweeting nothing. I ain't tell that nigga directly. I told him the same shit. Whoever cleared it, so what? Shit still ain't enough of my business for motherfuckers to be feeling some type of way about my pretty chocolate ass.
That's weird.
Getting into that, don't feed my people. So that's where I think he did bring it back to the song.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I'm gonna do business, however I do business, no matter who it affects or who I'm friends with. And so I wanted to ask you, because you do shit with television, you were in music and app features. Do y'all ever feel like you have to question whether something is worth missing out on a bag because of a relationship, or how someone may feel because you took a gig or worked with a certain somebody?
Yes and no, right? Because I think that the way that I work, and a lot of people would probably disagree with me or even think that it's a stupid way of doing it, but if my spirit don't feel right doing something, and I do care about optics, then I don't do it. I do care about optics. And I feel like I've actually been in trouble with people because I feel like they didn't extend the same courtesy to me that I did to them.
Right.
And if I'm going to be working with someone that I feel like we are a duo or we're a trio or whatever, what I do, even though we are individuals, reflects on me as well. So I kind of do feel like it is weird. And if she's saying that during their private conversation, he even said, nah, that's not even a good business move. Why would I do that? And now he's doing it. You kind of like going back in your word.
Yeah, I think for me it has to do with communication. It really is about communication. I mean, and I said it, Mandy and I have gotten into it about things like that before too, because as much as we are individual people, and we and both of us love each other down, like we would never try to confine each other, we still represent each other.
Absolutely.
So there's gonna be things that she's gonna want to say, I'm gonna want to say, and we gotta like check each other and be like, wait a minute, we can't politically, like, let's just not go there, because then if I go out and I gotta do something and you gotta do something, I don't want to fuck up nothing that you do.
And I don't want to be blindsided.
Yeah, but not even just blindsided, but just like something that is overall in the grand scheme of things really minuscule. In this
Oh yeah, she be
moment.
having to get on me because I'm petty, and I just like to be fucking petty. I like to pop my shit here and be fucking petty, and that is literally my nature, and that's how I cope with things. That's how I get over things. That's how I move. That's how I always move. As soon as I don't fuck with you, bitch, I don't fuck with
petty
you.
watch shit.
I'm super petty, and Bridget just be like, bruh, I get you want to be petty, but it ain't even that serious. Just stop with the pettiness. So we've gotten into it about stuff like that. Because I do. Wait. Don't say getting into it. I don't want them to think that this is toxic.
We had a discussion.
We had a discussion, but you wouldn't say get into it. It'd be like,
Nah, we don't scrap. It's not get into it like that.
We don't scrap. Bridget 5'8", bitch. I'm 5'1". Her reach alone, bitch. I'm gonna have to be ducking and bobbing. I'm gonna just have to.
What was that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? What movie was that?
It was like a cop.
Parksman. What movie was that from the 90s? Was it
Twins?
Yeah.
I think it was Twins.
Can we look up Twins screaming?
Yeah, it was Twins.
Why? What happened? Wait, Danny DeVito is really smart. Don't have me you with Arnold Schwarzenegger, my nigga.
Yo, you Danny, son. Danny DeVito.
I'm blocking all y'all motherfuckers that wanna sit. Bro, crazy Arnold. I'm Arnold and you're Danny. 100%. You gotta chill. Yo, really? That's what we doing? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's funny to y'all, huh? Oh, y'all laughing. Y'all laughing?
Yo, Twins.
That's right now. Nah, like maybe
That was funny, huh?
maybe it's really my dog. Like I would, you know what I'm saying? I would fight somebody for maybe. So it's not about that. Maybe and I are never at odds like that. But at the same time, I know how passionate she gets about things that I'm like, bro, it's not that deep. Yeah, because in my mind it's like there's so much more room. It's so much harder to take things back once you said them, once you've done them, like shit like this, it's so much harder to do that. Later on down the line, like I'm not,
And I ain't gonna hold you. I'm the new leaks me. I said what I said.
yeah, that's a Libra shit though. That's a Libra shit.
I'm super Libra. I like super Libra.
I'm a Libra too.
I'm super like just petty like that. So it just, she be trying to be like, okay, girl, we're grown. We're the aunties, remember?
Not even just that, because some of the pettiness to me is just cheap. And it's like, we don't need to be cheap with our attention, with our time. We don't need to be cheap with none of that. With our energy. Especially not no shit that I know for a fact is like, you feel this way now, but you'll get over it. You'll forget about it because you're so busy over here. It's not going to affect, it doesn't affect your pockets to not talk about it. It doesn't affect your well-being to not talk about it.
Exactly.
So what are we even doing here?
She just wants to get it off her chest.
Yeah, but it's giving a double down and a circle back about the same stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And I gotta be like, all right, babe, I'm gonna let you get this one off, and then after that we're good, right? We're good.
I do want to say too, of course, Party stepped in.
Yes.
to,
Of course. He's a good dude. I love him.
Yes, I like him too.
Yeah.
He said, yo, you a clown ass nigga doing clown ass shit.
I love
Then trying to backpedal. Nigga, that's what it is. You don't ever gotta address her again.
That's it.
And then of course the baby,
She made me want to do that too.
he just gonna pull out the clock. That's why he just gotta chill. But he said, you must not know about me. You must not know about me. Sung that shit in Beyonce voice. In his response, nigga. I'm not gonna lie because the baby we know he pulls out the banger. So this might be something where that's why he said I'm not industry in quotation marks.
Yeah.
That nigga clearly killed a nigga at Walmart. So we just gotta.
Yeah, but that guy also tried to run up on this kid.
Well, he's running up on him.
That's a little different.
Here's the thing.
Like that situation, I gotta give the baby. I won't be tired.
Yeah, that's
You
exactly.
might have one me and my family. If I'm strapped, I'm 100%.
But here's the thing with this though, and I go back to trigger fingers on
Right,
this.
right.
Because yes, he's only checking him on Twitter,
Right.
but again, not knowing who someone is and how they grow up,
Right.
that you come at me, that means it's on site. Like
Right.
that's how I used to fight people. Like if I
what you wanna do? That's man's man. Like he got
I mean, it is, but what I'm saying is, like, I used to argue with people on like AOL Messenger and MySpace and all that shit back in the day.
Yeah.
And guess what? We done did our talking online. You just better hope we not in the same spot. Like, and I don't even know if it's like some sneak shit, like if it's even, I don't know how it's looked upon in the streets, because I ain't really street, but I used to fight. So guess what? We said what we said, it's on site. So like, I've been in fights where bitches didn't know who they were fighting until we got separated. Because I said it's on site. Bitch, you're not gonna try me and talk all that shit on the internet.
It's on site for you, but they don't see you.
But they didn't see me. They mad. As soon as I say it's on site, you better be prepared to fucking know your surroundings. That's how I used to be growing up. Like I said, my mama was also the type, bitch. I mean, no, the thing is,
Don't get it fucked up.
the thing is, but I got more to lose now.
Right.
So I don't just be telling people it's on site.
Right.
I just be out here being petty. And that's why she be like, no, bitch. Calm down. But it's
You
like,
can't do that because I don't match energy on the
She
internet.
doesn't match
I'm not
energy.
matching internet energy. If I see you and you act funny, I will 100% match that energy in person. I'm not matching nobody's Twitter energy.
yeah.
I'm not doing that. In person, when I see you and I see how you move,
I mean,
I'm gonna act
Yeah,
accordingly.
because anything really bugs in real life, then you the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. Outside, you know what
Right.
I mean? It doesn't work right.
I am glad that he stepped in. But did y'all see the video circulating this week though? With like I guess this woman was beefing with her coworker. And it was a man, and she called her boyfriend to come up and
Oh, I
take care
did.
of it. Oh, but the boyfriend came up and lost.
Oh, the boyfriend got toe up.
Bro,
That's embarrassing.
And so
If I broke up after that.
would you wait? Y'all would?
My man can fight. Like, you
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
be
not
like,
worried
Well,
about
he
my
can
fight.
fight, but you don't know
Judo.
who he's gonna fight against.
My man is Jamaican. He's just crazy. He's just nuts.
Okay, but wait. So wait, if you call up your man to protect you from a nigga who's disrespecting you, and he loses,
if he loses, I'm not gonna be able to get well with anybody.
you said pussy dried up for life.
Yeah.
You can't
I've always
continue.
been, like, I'm really nice, right? I mean, I can be a bitch, but I'm really nice for the most part. I've always been with mean guys. Like, they're always mean. But, like,
Oh, you want to
me,
go
they're
like the
great.
bad guy?
No, I mean, not bad. Like, I don't
Just
like
mean.
toxic, but I don't like a friendly ass dude. Like, I don't want somebody who's gonna be mad social. I'm the social one. And
Okay.
they do be mean and they can fight. Like, the guys have been fucking fight. Like, and this one is different too, because I've known my dude for a while, but, like, he's actually a licensed fighter. Like, he does judo, he's been to
Oh, so
Thailand.
he is a fighter.
He's a real black belt, not like Tiger Showman, like he went to Japan to get his black belt. Like he's a real like mixed martial arts
Yeah,
guy.
He's not giving you after school karate.
No, not at all.
It's not Cobra Kai.
This is where she should have known. He hit it off his phone. Like, oh, this is what this nigga want to do. But I'm not gonna lie, she was holding him back. Like maybe she knew he would lose.
She felt the energy.
I think the energy was felt that the coworker was gonna bust his ass. And when he really busted his ass, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I was like consoling my nigga, but yeah,
It was the pushing of the pregnant girlfriend for me. When he pushed the pregnant girlfriend, I was like, yeah, nah, I don't think this is a good
wait,
idea.
he did.
I was like, oh yeah, he
And then got laid
tried to
out.
make a scene and then got laid out.
But he's so much smaller than
He is so much smaller. But you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. The big bitches were the best ones to fight, actually, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall, my nigga. And then you can just jump on them like a little.
You just had
okay.
Oh yeah. Many video.
I ain't gonna hold you. I did fight a bitch that was like 5'9". I was like, oh, bitch, you were fighting. That's why I said the talking to the phone. Once a bitch be like, hold my shit. It's a that's what happened.
First of all, she called him up to her job. If this man is ready to fight at his job and potentially ready to lose his job, he ready to risk it all. No.
Oh shit.
Body slammed him twice. Here's the thing though.
I'm sorry. Y'all can't be together.
Yeah, y'all can't be together no
And
more.
this shit went
Y'all
viral.
can't be together no more. And if my thing is for the boyfriend, right? If you know you can't fight, you gotta have a cousin pull up for you on your behalf.
Yeah.
You gotta have. Everybody has at least
That
one
cousin.
Shout out to Chameleon.
that is with the shit.
That's my cousin. When I tell you bitch back in
That
high
is
school,
with all
she would
the
put
shit.
dicks in cards. My motherfucking cousin can whoop some ass. She would beat a nigga's ass. For real. I seen.
Everyone has at least a friend or a cousin that's with all the shits, and you gotta be. It's just somebody to call and let them know you're in some shit, and they will pull up. This was bad. Your boy took ABB. Your boy got mollywopped in that parking lot.
Yeah, now we gotta be single.
Now we gotta be single with that baby.
Now we broke up. Or I ended up being up and broken up.
And there's a baby on the way. So now instead of child support, you gotta be at Cobra Kai.
Well, I know we talked a little bit about business. I did want to. I don't even know if I should give a round of applause here. A lot of people wanted us to talk about it, and I found an angle that I would love to talk with you guys. For any of y'all that are listening, that are also content creators, podcasters, anything of that nature, Alex Cooper, who is, I want to call her one half of Call Her Daddy. Why are you laughing? You know what Alex Cooper is?
Nasty thought it was Alice Cooper.
Who is Alice Cooper?
Isn't that like a guy, like one of those bands?
It's like
your father's band.
it's a band from the 80s.
Alice
But what's that?
Alice Cooper. That's the name.
Wait,
but
but that's a
not
band?
Alex. It's not Alex Cooper. It's Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper
Yes.
is a rock thing.
It's a rock band.
I know that.
And so Alex
No,
Cooper
Alex.
is a podcaster.
Oh, Alex. Okay.
So Alex, well, Alex is now the host of Call Her Daddy podcast, and it
There was two of them before, right?
There was two of
Yeah.
them, bitch, and I ain't gonna hold you. But see what that is? The other girl, I don't think got adopted because she left everything. But what's crazy is she left a year ago. Is that not crazy?
That's crazy.
Like nothing. Yeah. So she yanked $60 million, a 3-year, $60 million deal with Spotify. What's also crazy is they started this podcast in 2018.
So what is this podcast about?
Sex.
All the things that
All the things that our other
So what
podcasts
you do?
about.
You make it
No, you know what? No, bitch. I don't even want to tell y'all my deal, iHeart. But if I do want to talk about this because a lot of people was like, damn, like, you know, this why is, you know, a pod like myself not in this predicament and or in this like position.
Well, because you're black.
And that was literally what it is. I mean, we have an issue already even selling ads and all the things just because of the content. But this white girl just got a $60 million deal.
Same type of concept.
Same exact content, just from a white, just not big, not just beige. Actually translucent. More plush, more pink.
What's alabaster?
Oh, where's that color at? Oh, there you are.
So the conversation, of course, through everybody. Like I hit up all the podcasters and we were sharing an article and looking at it because I was like, damn, this is a big deal and a big step for all podcasters now, right? But no, because we were still just like, but we ain't white. We're not fucking white. And I mean, I definitely was tuned in to all of the Spotify conversations that Joe had, especially after they gave Joe Rogan 100 mil. Bill Simmons got another like probably 100 and something mil. And now she gets 60 million. She is the highest paid woman from Spotify from getting a Spotify deal. Here's the thing, and I wanted to have this conversation with you because you've done not only TV, she's done music, and I'm in this podcast space. And while this seemed like a win, it was just like, to me, I was like, but I'm not white. Not only am I not white, I am a woman. And I think that black women, specifically in these creative spaces, literally are less than. And so it kind of stung a little bit because I'm just like, damn, how far are we to the point where black women get the recognition and the dollars that they deserve as well for the work that they put in?
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to you about that with people like Issa Rae getting the deal that she got with HBO. Do you feel as though that could lend to other women of color landing those deals, or do you feel like it's just a rare thing in the space for women of color to be paid what they should be paid?
I think it does open up doors when we're talking about the Issa Rae situation, but the thing is, like, look how hard Issa Rae had to work. You know what I mean?
And how long?
And for how long? Like, she was doing the web series Aqua Blacker way longer than
years.
And for her to get in the room with HBO, it wasn't like, you know, we're living in a different time where people are not just like auditioning for shit, we're creating and molding it. Like, it's no longer just, hey, I want to be here. Yeah, it's like, I have to make it, and I have to make sure that I do this and cross every T and dot every I, and it has to be perfect, and I have to show you that it's perfect. There's other opportunities that are lent to other people. Like, I think I heard this once before with the show Girls on HBO. I think she just went up to HBO with a deck. But, you know, you see Issa Rae, she came already with something that was already made. She had to go through different, you know, her hurdles were longer. Not saying that, I don't remember her name, Lena Dunham. It's not saying that she didn't have to go through hurdles, but I do hear that it was a lot easier. I don't think, she was like, I have an idea. And Issa Rae came with something that was already completely molded and had a lot of bones to it. So I think it's true. Like, you guys had Ebony K. Williams. Her tagline on Real Housewives is, I've had to work twice as hard just to get half of what other people encounter. Something like that.
100%.
So I think there's
Black
always
women
a little bit.
specifically in corporate, that's for sure the case. Like, as a black woman, you have to show up with a better resume. You have to do all the degrees. You have to show up and be twice as better. You have to show up on time.
You gotta have something completely creative, and then you have to have a plan B and plan C as well. When I feel like other people have the liberty to be like, I have an idea.
What about for you in music? Did you feel like artistry or accolades or where you were? God damn it, all my business people in my phone is the.
I mean, that's shutting on Thanksgiving. Do not disturb.
I know.
No, I think for music, when I started releasing music, it was around the time when Instagram and social media was really becoming a means for people, for A&Rs and for corporations and agencies to find artists, right? And YouTube was the thing. Like, they were looking to see what your engagement was like, and nobody at the time even really understood how to quantify any of that data for real. Like, and turn the insights and like figure out how to turn the insights into cash.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, around the time that I got signed was when people were figuring out how to do it, and that's how they were leveraging themselves in the industry. Whereas for me, I was doing it the grassroots way of, you know, performing at every open mic I could perform at. I had a speaker with a microphone and was in the train station and now CDs, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that was,
and I told you,
like,
karaoke.
That was really how I did. I told you my karaoke song is literally it's why do you build me up,
that she's an actual singer. I don't know.
Or it's giving Living on a Prayer.
Like, that's not fair if you are an actual vocalist that you participate at all in karaoke.
But I purposely pick songs that I'm not getting up there and singing The Greatest Love of All. Like, I'm not giving Celine Dion Power of Love. Yeah, but I'm not doing that.
Why?
Because she can actually sing and she knows it's not fair.
Because they're not paying me. That's the real point. It's like, I don't want to do this for free for y'all, and then everybody's crying and they feel it's because they drunk, and then it's not fun anymore.
So you sing all the right
It's too beautiful for you. Like,
yeah, or the only time that I'll do, like, I might do like a my sister and I will do like Killing Me Softly. Like,
that's definitely a song that I hit. Or I do Tyrone.
Tyrone is good. That's my friend
I'm going down.
Yeah,
I'll do it
myself,
It's a
but
lot
I'll
of
do
women,
it
yeah.
other people, yeah. And then all the girls love to do it by the yeah, do the little dance. Yes, we do the freak down. And if it's just,
do the switch up, and then y'all go the other
yeah.
Three is not in there. Three is definitely her ad-lib.
That's me, that's me.
That's her ad-lib.
That's the Dominican remix and shit. But I'll do that. I also love doing any DMX, and I get it on the floor.
How do you, as a woman, go up for karaoke?
You don't wanna, yeah. You don't wanna put it in your ass and go and get it on the floor. That's the
So
shit.
you really go through and think
I
the
wanna go to
DMX
karaoke.
song.
I'm party up
When are we
here.
gonna do karaoke? Because you know the world is open now, bitch. We
Let's
never
go, like today. Let's go.
I can't go today.
We gotta go
I have a
today.
sinus
And she's
infection.
sick.
She really has to go. Nah, I'll do Ain't No Sunshine with you. Oh yeah, that voice is giving it today though.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
And I'm having a good day that I think I can sing. I do. Fever. I don't know the words, but I don't know.
Giving it fever.
Woo. I do that one.
So you really know how to sing? Another bitch on the couch.
I know.
Bro, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Yeah, but you actually have like
Mandy
a
is so
voice.
mad because every guest we've had can sing and can hold a tune, and she's over here.
I'm
Oh, she over here calling Tyrone. She calling Tyrone for
I
some
can
extra
only do
notes.
like a deep. No, I can't go high. I can only do deep.
It's okay. I always said too. If I was in a group, I would be T-Live.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. Right? She actually got the little deep voice. But you said you had a point.
We were talking about the fact that all these white people and white women get deals and black women are always looked at last. And I realize this because my man and I talk about this pretty frequently about marketing, right? Because he works in marketing and brand partnerships and understanding the audience, understanding the importance of the demographic. And I just think that most of these companies, these corporations, do not properly equip themselves to understand how marketing to a black audience works, and so they don't even understand the profitability of the black audience. So they're not even willing to take the risk to do it and bet on it because they don't, even though it's already been proven. That's the wild shit. But that's why I say the companies are not equipping themselves, especially all the ones that put up all those black squares last year on social media. Good job. Good job diversifying your fucking Instagram page and not your company, dick bags. Anyway, no, but I mean, most of these companies they're not equipping themselves to really have adequate teams to be like, yo, the black dollar is actually way more likely to be coming in if you subscribe to this type of content, if you're willing to pay these type of creators.
Yeah.
The bar now has been, we even talked about TikTok and the importance of TikTok. Think about how many young black creators on TikTok have gotten the short end of the stick.
Did you see apparently that the black TikTokers went on strike or something from creating dances, and so it's crazy because now it's coming out that all these white people tried to make a dance to Meg Thee Stallion's "Right Shit," and it says put your hands on your knees, and the white people can't find
They
their
just
knees.
love your arms in the air. Like it's all like, woo!
This little dress on.
Like,
But like, yeah, they can't create even. It's like they either culturally appropriate or they literally just steal ideas. One of the other.
I mean, the appropriating is the stealing of ideas.
Well,
That's all it is. And that's also why I say they don't know. Most of these corporations would not know what to do with bringing. Like if they decided if all of a sudden YouTube decided, you know what, we need to allocate a couple $1 million to these few like young black kids that are coming up with all these incredible dances on TikTok, just to have them do tutorials on YouTube, have it be exclusively on YouTube. We'll pay them a couple $1 million to do and let them have their space to do it. No one's even thinking about that and considering how profitable it is. Instead, they're picking up a random white girl in some fucking mom jeans and putting her on Jimmy Fallon.
there you go. Yeah.
It's exhausting to me, but also it's upsetting because obviously being in the podcast space and having a certain quality of content, you understand that the only way to really be seen in that space is to continue your output and your oversaturation. So on top of being
God damn, how long have I been?
to it, you also have to
Oh, just over 2 hours? Alright.
you have to produce even more.
She showed up with 100 episodes. So Spotify bought 100 episodes, 50 of which are with the other girl who's no longer even a part of the show.
But hasn't she been not a part of the show for
For a year.
time already?
1 year.
And she's just still. That's not okay.
Bro.
What lawyer do they have?
a shitty one, and I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing too, and
Well,
my,
she has a great one.
well,
Clearly.
but my bit of advice too, and I think that this is what happens when people are not protected. Because I don't even want to make this about just call her daddy. Because I met Sophia Franklin, dope girl. So I don't want to necessarily hone it on her. But we saw the same thing happen with a producer that was with Gilly and Wallow on theirs, where he was there from day one. When was it Barstool? Who bought Gilly and Wallow shit? It is Barstool, right? They got over $1 million deal, and this producer who was there from day one thought he was an equity person because he was a part of it from day one. Barstool people came in and he got no money. And so I say it's crazy because a lot of us do. We saw the shit just happen with JBP. You create these things with friends. You believe shit is on either verbal things or you just don't know that the value of something in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I think even for this and even for that producer on with Gillian Waller, like you lack not having the idea that no, you have to create a contract. You have to create a partnership agreement. You have to create something that protects you. Like I literally just had a call, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago with my legal. I have a partnership agreement, I have a contract here, I have a contract there. We got a call on with our lawyers, cost us hundreds of dollars, because I said we need to break down what these contracts mean.
Exactly.
How can we move forward? What does it mean if we don't want to do this anymore? Who do we owe? What obligations do we have? And I think it's also important, the thing is, we're all creating our own wealth right now. A lot of us did not come from a generational wealth.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
A lot of us don't even come from a creative household. So this idea of us creating these...
We started from the ground up.
From the ground up. So a lot of us, in terms of understanding what a partnership agreement is, or understanding how to protect ourselves legally, we don't know.
We don't know what to ask for. We don't know what is like the ballpark figure. We also don't have like good like guidance. Or
Unless they got rich deals, we're not showing up.
These corporations are not interested in taking that risk and really in cutting that check, unless it's, and in the Issa Rae situation, it's unfortunate, but there's a certain with black content in general, that especially with black shows, you can tell that there's a certain, it's non-threatening content, right? Like I get excited when I get to see shows like The Shy thrive, like 20s, which is also another Lena Waithe show, thrive. Even going as far back to Boondocks and how honest and raw Boondocks was. The content, the script writing was for that. It was an animated show.
Yeah.
Like I love to see shows that push the envelope a little bit more. Insecure is a non-threatening narrative about black women, about black people. So of course HBO is gonna fucking throw millions of dollars at it. And it's not to say that it's not an amazing show, but at the same time we understand they're not necessarily the same team is not necessarily gonna go in and do that every time for a black story or a black narrative or a black podcast that they don't necessarily understand the market for, and B are not gonna be able to control. But also something like this is like, okay, it's a fucking blonde white girl like talking about sucking dick. Of course there's a market for that. It's like that.
But that's my problem too, because as black women, we also have those very same experiences with sex. And that's why I like, even you bringing up the Boondocks.
Yeah.
Guess what show was just as problematic, had just as many curse words, and probably made millions of dollars more? South Park.
Yeah.
Still a cartoon, but from the white narrative perspective instead of Boondocks, which was clearly a black cartoon. And so, yeah, like I said, when I saw this, I was like, yay. I said to her, I said, see, girl, there's money in this space. But also just know we're gonna have to show up, be correct, and be here in a space where we know we're gonna have to put in a lot more work than our white counterparts.
Yeah, I mean it really is that, and they don't give a shit about you. They don't care who you are or where you come from. They want to see if you're gonna make a money. Like I'm actually really worried about the whole Washington Heights controversy with the movie. Because it's like, it didn't do well. I think it took $55 million to make, and it only made like $11.5 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have names like the director of Crazy Rich Asians and freaking Lin-Manuel Miranda, which are like the biggest names right now, and they couldn't do it. What makes you think that we're gonna believe in your little project? And that's how I feel as a content creator, because I'm writing the script right now, and I'm trying to do shit from my point of view, my narrative.
Right.
I mean, it's on the front, from the heights, just. But the thing about what I'm doing is that I really do see myself as a New Yorker, right? Like I'm from the Bronx, I live in the Heights now, but fierce person. I would always be, and I would be all up in it. You know, like I just wanted to be in the mix. So what I'm trying to do right now is not necessarily just about a Dominican American narrative. It's just me as a New Yorker.
Yeah.
And I just so happen to be Dominican.
Do you,
the show's
so
not
you
about
feel like
me.
this sets actually you back as a Latina creative? Being that it didn't do well, you feel like people are going to be more hesitant in doing these type of narratives?
I think that the people that is in question here are like, you know, like producers and people that are going to put money behind it. Yeah, I do think it sets it apart because it's always been so complicated in the Latino field because they've always been lumping us up into just being these kind of like white people with black hair that speak Spanish when in reality there's so many different types of Latinos.
Right. Did you a lot of the conversation circulating around this piece in particular, we talked about it last week, was really the lack of black. The lack of black. Yes, it was a big lack of black. And if you're from New York, like you said,
you know what's going on in Washington Heights.
You walk up on Washington Heights, and it's most of the people up there are black. They're Dominican, but they're black.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a problematic ass question?
Of course, I'm always
Okay,
we're getting
we're getting problematic now. So outside of whatever maybe white directors and producers or was a part of this, y'all don't cancel me. If there was anyone involved with casting or anyone who was Latina or Dominican or anyone that had a role in casting this, up here is where I've also witnessed the most racism amongst Latinos. Okay. So if you had white Latinas or Latinos in the casting room or as producers, a lot of them see negros, negritas, like they're so also racist against whether you're Dominican or not. If you're dark skinned,
yeah, there's a huge colorism conversation,
right? And absolutely. So to me, it may even hold just to a bigger picture. Outside of whites not looking at Latinos as being all these different shades of brown, but within their own community, they're very, very racist.
Yeah, like you turn on Univision and most of the time it's always the same type of chick that looks like Sofia Vergara. You know, and I know there's a lot of Latinos that look like that, but there's also a lot of, like, my mother's black and she's a black Dominican. I'm the lightest person in my family because my father's actually white. But my family, I come from a black Dominican family. So when I see that, I didn't see the whole movie, and I'm glad that something was made, but I do feel that people thought it was a little outdated, and I do feel that people were missing what they actually see in real life. Like, of course, in the movies, you want to zhuzh it up and make everybody, you know, look like an actor and an actress, but it's not that there's a lack of black Dominican talent out there.
Right.
Not in it. Right. Cardi B is not in it. No. Julissa Calderon is not in it. And I'm like, how do I think that is a singer, dancer, and actress? She could have been.
She should have been the auntie with the salon.
So it's not, there's not a lot of black Dominican talent out there. And I know a lot of other people were upset because, you know, this is a Puerto Rican director, producer, creator making it, but it's a Dominican story. Now, I never saw the Broadway show, so I can't talk too much about it.
I saw the Broadway show. He grew up in the Heights.
He did.
Yeah, which is why he makes it a point to have Puerto Rican and Dominican representation
in the movie.
Because it's really about highlighting the importance of the immigration story, right? And understanding the importance of leaving your community, your country, and coming to a place with nothing, and building a community around other people that speak your language, around other people that look like you, and I think that's the part that people are missing because there is such a lack of representation as far as the colors are concerned.
They're not white, clearly, you know what I'm saying? But there is a colorism situation because the only person that is dark is black American and not black Latino.
Right. There's so many layers. They had that exactly. There's so many layers to even what we don't understand in the Latino community.
All right, that's gonna be it for this video. Pushed it a little bit on this one, but just over 2 hours, so 2 hours 20 minutes. All right, so yeah, man, this one I really wanted to fix it up because the reference that I created just really didn't do too much justice, so I had to do a little bit more rendering, push it out a little bit further to actually get the result that I wanted. I wasn't good at photo bashing yet, still not, but you know, didn't get what I wanted out of this until, you know, drawing it now, and this is a lot more what I'm looking for, so perfect. I like the way it came out. either way, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm G Mr. Drew. That's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. You can follow, like, and subscribe. Links are in bio, along with my website, gmrdrew.art. Check it out. I'm always uploading stuff, and you can see a whole history of everything I've worked on. Well, most of the things I've worked on. A lot of things I either lost or just legally can't publish. So, and yeah, that's going to be it, man. I want to thank anyone and everyone who watches these videos, whether you're on Twitch, you catch them afterwards, or later on down the line on YouTube. All of you, I really appreciate, you know, all the kind words and the support and everything like that, man. It really just means a lot to me. So, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this. So I really hope you guys are enjoying these. And yeah. I'm liking how this character is coming along, and yeah, basically once I start writing the story and putting it out there, revisiting these pieces is really just gonna remind me of like, oh yeah, this is exactly who this guy is. I already know who his character is and his storyline and everything like that, but as far as like how I want to depict him and bring him to life and things like that. That's what I'm trying to capture in here, and I understand you guys may not be able to see that just because it's all in my head. But the more I do these things, the more in my head I get, and you know, the more that I can actually translate that to paper. So, again, thank you all, love you all, peace.